maybe even keep going from here, you know.
I think the upcoming weeks is a upcoming months from the end of this year into the beginning of next year is actually going to be a really telling period for Ryu, because they've hit their stride since the addition of Azuu, which has been a pretty recent one. Draculan was one of their first outings with him, and you know what? They did really well. It was actually, honestly, what a performance. But they haven't since been able to keep that form. And I think especially in a cup like this, where they've been dropped down the lower bracket, they've narrowly got past Cybershock, Favbet, playing up against Sinners and beating them, maybe a team that's a little bit tired. They've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike recently. This is a win and a run that Monte kind of need right now.
Well, let's see if they can make it work. Both teams in pursuit of that next stage in the lower bracket. And Ryu, well, we highlighted him in the pre-game, and he's going to go one and done here in the pistol. Big frag for Sinners now as they get all the space afforded to them for the bomb plant. And there's going to be a big tussle in towards CT. This round, it lives and dies with the fight in CT. It's as simple as that. Gizmy going to try and go through the smoke, and he actually can find the first frag. There's more where that came from, though. And Monte are making light work of these team players. Azuu gets in on the act as well. And it's Monte who open up first.
I did not expect that pistol round to just end like it did. I really had Sinners favored, right? Molo to deny space, smoke on that Molo so it instantly blooms, and then Gizmy somehow just walks through it on the edge. I don't even know if he really had much vision, but super impressive for Monte. Issue is, Sinners, they got the bomb down. So throughout all of that success, Sinners, they're still going to have that purchase up into this next round. And yeah, how does Gizmy get a second kill here? That's actually crazy. Really good from the IGL already, putting pen to paper.
Him finding that frag was actually the kill that unlocks the retake. It allows for the rest of the team to start to flood their way forward. It takes the attention from the left-hand side of the smoke as well, which is where 2 of the 3 players were. So great impact out of Mr. Gizmy. And it's going to be a force buy back in response from Sinners. Of course, they get the bomb down in the losing cause. So it means there's actually 3 rifles in play and a couple hand cannons as well. Shock is deadly with this Desert Eagle, man. Honestly, I'd go so far as to say he's the best Eagle player on Sinners.
Honestly, that's pretty impressive to look at Shock of all things right now, because to me, Peppo's the really hot prospect with the AWP, came from their academy team, playing in ESCA main before his call up to Sinners, but he was dropping like a 1.60 rating in the regular season of main, and people can be like, oh, but it's ESCA main. Trust me, doing that on a consistent level is pretty hard. And then like Stressan as well, great find. I know he also got turned down from teams in the same region as Sinners, who were doing worse than Sinners.
Mark?
I don't know. Who maybe. Who?
That's me, Freddie. I'm sure you know that by now. I don't stray away from those sorts of moments.
Yeah, I mean, he got turned down. They're doing much worse than Sinners, and from what I've heard, Stressan, he's impressed a lot of people. He's impressed me. Issue is, he might have to step up pretty massively right now, as the B bomb site has been caved in. Gizmy, all by himself with his MP9. He's dinking, he's doing damage, and honestly, he's just staying alive. How is Gizmy not dead? How has Gizmy got 2 kills?
He's got his dancing shoes on, man. Just the way that he's moving on the bomb site, just kind of annoyingly chipping away at Sinners as they try and progress forward. I mean, Sinners did pretty well there to get as far forward as they did before they started to breach into the bomb site. Rotation came through there from, I think it was Afro as well, who had arrived on the scene, or Azuu maybe, but kind of helped out Gizmy with some nice moves, though. Lives to tell the tale, gets a lot of extra cash, and just straight up goes for the upgrade on the M4. So, living very comfortably as a result, nice and early here, Mirage.
I am, in all honesty, quite confused at how that round ends up being like, what, 4 alive on Monte? Like, BMS dies there. If they just go, Sinners overrun that bomb site, Gizmy dies, rotations maybe not there in time, but rotations were there actually like super quickly. I'm actually shocked that when BMS dies there, it ends the way it does. B-Stick, final round drops, or sorry, final man drops. That's Monte 3-0 up. It's a pretty good start for them on their opponent's map pick.
Absolutely, making light work of the eco as well means they get a Nice chunk of money behind them going into the first gun run, and a chance here for Sinners to open up their account. You know how well versed they are on the T side of this map. It's something that they've really ironed out. They've waxed it. It's nice and shiny, and it's just been performing fantastically well for them lately. Has the T side on Mirage. What do they fall back on to open up? It's going to be attention in towards middle, just the one player. The rest of the team heading in towards A. Yeah, looking nice and clean with it.
Oh, that was hella clean. No, it's not that big of a deal, but hey, got to give the kudos when deserved. And for Shock, you said he can be dangerous. It was a pretty easy opener, just because Afro is sitting there out in triple, sucking his thumb, gets fully blinded. He's just chilling. So the A bomb site's been lost. There has been a kill found elsewhere for Monte, and now they're setting up for a 4 versus 4 retake.
Oh, Gizmy's in a very good position. Stretcher not going to be expecting him here. That's the trade, just bringing it back into an even numbers game. And Gizmy, going to struggle to find further impact from here as the time continues to tick on. There's just one kit in play, plenty utility. Peppo posted on the angle, not going to connect on his shot, but doesn't lose his life, at least just yet. The nade should take him down. No, Gizmy will first. Got to start to accelerate though, boys. Someone's going to have to commit to the bomb site. There's no time left remaining here, I don't think. They're going to continue to find frags. They struggle to even find the bomb, and surely it's too far gone at this point. You'd have to imagine. Oh no! I thought they had got it for a brief moment, but the bomb explodes and Sinners find a round.
And everyone dies with it, which is also the kind of real, I think, the real heart-crushing part is that they don't get to defuse. Okay, they don't win the round. Everyone dies, so it's going to have to be a full reinvestment. And you're actually looking at this now for Monte and thinking, thank God that second round was clean. And thank God that anti-eco was also clean. Because they now head into a second gun round where it is not necessarily an issue economically, but that is just an unfortunate retake where Afro gets caught way too early. You know, he gets caught out in the open, probably could have stayed alive, got a kill, made it easier for his teammates on the retake, and Monte just a bit too slow. This is a call of action.
Yeah, at least at a minimum, they have got enough money to afford the reinvestment across the board. Like you said, it really does suck that everybody goes down in that losing cause, but they'll have, for the most part, everything they need now going into round number 5. Just going to have to wait for Afro to figure out some of his issues. Maybe that's what contributed to him getting caught off a triple. I'm not sure. It's actually very impressive to see how well Shock's been playing lately. I mean, a 1.1 rating out of him in the past 3 months, you know. He was kind of seen as maybe a player that had taken a bit of a back step for a while, but I've always seen him with actually really sharp mechanics. And I always saw him as a guy who could contribute in a decent way in the fragging department, and he's clearly back at the moment, so it's very cool. He's got some of the best first bullet accuracy, does Shock. That's what makes him so dangerous with the Desert Eagle.
Shock. Wait, am I just remembering? He played. He used to play for. No, okay, sorry. Zedco, who used to play for Gamer Legion, right? Also played on Sinners. No, not Zedco. Guy was retired. Who retired?
But Neofrag played for OG.
Sorry, Gamer Legion.
Oh.
Who played Zero?
Yes, that's the one.
Zero. Okay, that dude had the craziest aim. If I'm remembering correct, but like, he
always had a really whack view model.
Yeah, so like, bear in mind, he didn't have great stats, but I remember this guy having like bonkers aim. He used to like do frag movies, and mate, they were like, you know, when you're sitting there, you're just like, wow, that's actually like, that's pretty nuts. I'll see if I can find it. Because yeah, sorry, really random. Like I watched these like years and years and years ago.
Yeah, I mean, he was even playing in Hellraisers at one point. Back would have been like Stico, maybe Issa, Dead Fox, I don't know, like around that kind of era. I think he'd like played with Hellraisers as well. So he was a player who was around for a long time. He actually started coding some interesting things. I think like Do you remember with the flashbang, that like pinging sound it would make would actually bother a lot of people with sensitive ears? So he found a way to turn down that audio level for people.
Well, he does
Some sort of a script or something like that.
Pretty sure he does all the stuff for like Ashen, you know, those people now.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Like, 'cause he unless I'm getting my names mixed up, but he's like, I know B-Dog's worked with him on the ESL Impact videos he did, for instance. Dweg's done some stuff with him on all his videos, and all Ash's stuff is on that. Is from him.
Okay. Good news is we're back in the game.
None of our
His little
blabbering anymore.
back in the spotlight again. Just can go back into obsolescence for another 5 years or something. Sorry, Zero.
Unnecessary.
All right, well, opening kill found for Sinners.
Gizmy.
Yeah, could be in some trouble.
Yeah, this is gonna be scary. Afro is here, but maybe that actually makes it even more terrifying. He jumps up and bye. The Galil annihilates him. Gizmy, I don't know how he's gonna survive this one. 2 kills would be great. A kill would be acceptable. And you know what? He's somehow... How has everyone died apart from him? How is Gizmy the final player alive? I was gonna say, like, you know, surviving's great, allows for the rotations, but everyone else dies.
And Sinners don't lose track of the fact that Gizmy was also in the bomb sites. It's not like he's even able to have this big moment where he comes out of the smoke and gets a crazy multi and he just dies as well. Bro was just chilling in the smoke
because they knew they
around him.
Killed the rotations.
Yeah, exactly. And if Gizmy's still alive, well, you know he's the Bianca. Good work here from Sinners to start to come alive here on their map pick, winning 2 consecutive gun rounds. And that earns them an anti-eco. Nice and simple.
By the way, I found Mr. Zero's frag moves. That's something to you for later.
Yeah, I'll check him out.
Very, very old at this stage. Just like you. Huh? Is that not... I thought... Did Pepper not got that kill?
Evidently not, Freddy.
I thought he shot the shoulder. I mean, he still gets 2 kills with the Glock, so hey-ho, stress out.
I might be a bit older than you, but I'm certainly sharper. I mean, evidently. What happened there?
You didn't get the kill.
3-all.
Yeah, it's a
Sinners.
good anti-eco.
Yeah.
See, we can agree on that.
Probably agree on most things, just every now and again. Can't just agree on everything, right? It's boring, so gotta spice it up a little bit.
Gonna be a cruncharian.
Oh, my favorite. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Here we go. Gun round for the lead.
Ooh, Azu's going for a fight. That is very aggressive for Azu to go for that, which is fine if you had support, right? You know, he does that while BMAS is chilling at the back of short, and Afro's supporting from ticket into con. So yeah, Azu, that feels a bit unnecessary. I don't know if it's miscommunication of what his role's supposed to be in that round, but definitely something went wrong between either him or how the round was supposed to be set up.
And it results in a nice opening kill for Sinners. Looking to now try and convert that into a round. Again, they're going to try and hammer home in on the speed bomb site. Certainly been
what a timing
ports of call so far. As they look to try and go through the smoke grenade. Gizmy will find one instant trade though. BMAS the next man up to bat, and he doesn't have any immediate support. So it's going to be quite an important moment here for him to try and lock things down. He gets swung from the site. He's actually able to adjust to find that frag anyway. Now it's about life preservation, but the nade will take him down.
I'm just thinking, where is everybody? And it's because B-Stick's in snipers, and they never had any control of it since Zulu died. So even though BMAS survives for a substantial amount of time, their main rotation, Azuu, he was the first player to die. So now the retake set up. Ryu, he's got that kit. And we've been talking a big game about him, but he's currently sitting only 4-4. He had to really activate in this map. This could be his moment to shine, or maybe Afro just takes command. Kisrek playing close, hits the first bullet headshot, and the transition is slick. It is ice cold.
Oh, to do that type of thing online is just really impressive there from Kisrek, because you can't really fault Monte at all with the way that they
his
go.
His first 2 kills.
Looking, that makes it even more impressive. Welcome to the server, man. was always going to be a matter of time before he had his moment, and he delivers when required. That's 4 rounds in a row for Sinners. What a neat little transfer. And now, max round loss bonus for Monte means that they're just going to have to go buy up a couple SMGs and upgrade a pistol as well. Kisarek picking up here where he left off at the end of the previous round. SMG's proving to be a bit plucky though.
They had some perk to them. But I think, unfortunately, now we sit in this position where it's a 2 versus 3. Monte, sure, they are getting aggressive over towards A, but Sinners are cooling their jets. And they're just pausing, waiting, and not allowing for anything dastardly to happen. Maybe if Afro can get top mid, pick up a rifle, but it's, as of now, he's just being held for by Peppo. And even if the AWP misses, for instance, it's still going to be a while for Afro to pick up a rifle, and Beast's going to be able to transition back. So, yeah. There maybe was a timing, but too aware from the young AWPer, and Bemis, he's in the right position, but it's a 1 versus 3. Do they overlook him? Maybe they get caught lackadaisical. This MP9, it has to go nuclear, and well, he does catch them off guard. Shock has the bomb in his hands, but unfortunately it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I really like the way that Sinners actually go about their business there in the anti-eco, especially once they end up in the 3v3. They just post for like 40 seconds. They know that Monte are probably looking to try and make some sort of a move. It was the big flank there from Afro that they were trying to buy time for, but Sinners just more than happy to wait, bide their time, and then punish the move made, then just group up as a unit, figure out where the last player is, and get the job done. Nice and easy, nice and clean. Mirage kind of going the way we would have expected here, I think. I mean, problem for Monte is, although it's 5-3, they haven't really been that hot in the gun rounds. That's going to have to change now. Otherwise, Sinners start to run away with it.
Also, just remind me, it's actually been a hot second since I cast Sinners. It's Peppo, right?
Yeah,
it's not Peepoo. Didn't he like actually come out and say that that's not how you like actively?
Well, I mean, whoever pronounced it like that needs to go to some speech therapy or something, because it's obviously not Peepoo. It's P-E-P-O. There's no double E.
Peppo. Yeah, it wasn't. It someone was like, actually, in the native language, it's pronounced like this. He was like,
well, that's the problem, because in Kisarek as well, you know, that's another one of the names. The player coming from North Macedonia could be like Isaya, or so, like, you know, really the whole knows what it's supposed to be. We don't know, guys. We just pronounce it like how we would in English.
Yeah, it's like
things. Unless you're like super professional enough where your name can actually go mainstream. Like, that's why people don't call him Boombler, right? They call him Boomage. They don't call him, you know, they call him Ziwu because that's supposed to be how it's pronounced. Anyway, important guy.
Afro?
And I have no idea what they've just done in the middle. That's one way to get a couple of kills.
We switched to underpass. So I see Afro jumping out a window. I mean, despite the antics and maybe a little bit of tomfoolery, it's actually a pretty clean mid take. And then they also transitioned it really nicely to counteract the A players who were trying to lurk out. And then Mr. Peppo, he's just over in ramp with the AWP and the bomb and a million thoughts, but I don't think there's a single one that's going to lead to a round win.
Nah, best he could hope for from here would maybe be some damage, but I really like the way that Monte just puff up their chest and decide, we're going to take the fight to you in middle. Full confidence, all gas, no brakes. And it works the trick. And Peppo's just going to save his AWP at this point, right? That makes the most sense. Gonna have to be a lot more where that came from, but good work nonetheless. Good job nonetheless there from Monte.
The save is actually pretty good right now, because what? Their loss bonus is 1400. He's got AWP, full util, armor. Not quite full util, but like best part of it. It's a pretty good save from him. There's no point trying to beat a dead horse. So a good reaction from Monte. And I think for Sinners, they just weren't set up, it felt like, a middle. Well, like Peppo was too far away. Like he literally did nothing that round. He probably should have been in middle to help with that mid counter push that was activated from Monte. Or did he get caught off as they were trying to rotate back towards A? Either way, a good round for Monte picking up to keep this first half as close as we'd anticipate. And look at this. This is fast from Stresserin.
Yeah, just Sinners immediately going back to the scene of the crime in the previous round and saying that they're not worried about things going awry again. I wonder if there's going to be like a bit of an offbeat timing here from Monte to try and recontest middle. That's a really good timing on the grenade. Shock just brought down to half health. Nothing you can do about that. Bomb left in towards spawn, and it doesn't look like Monte are keen to be as active this time round in middle. Gonna let the round come to them a bit more.
Big 1-for-1. Again, Azuwu, sure he's up on the kills department, but there's a few times now where it feels like he hasn't been super effective in towards middle and has maybe given his life away unnecessarily. I know there was supposed to be a joint effort between him and Bemis, but for one thing or another, they weren't joint there, and Stresserin's able to get that trade and duck away, keep it that 4 versus 4. And Monte now kind of split their defense as this A execute is being set up.
This is brave from Ryu to actually hold the smoke fade right now. And Beastic's going to go through it as it starts to fade. Oh my goodness, back to back right now. This should benefit Beastic as the smoke fades. Ryu's got the same idea, and he's also going to round the corner. Now, big question, who does this favor? My instant thought is it has to be Ryu. He can just single-handedly win the round for his team right now. He could just deny the plant. Look at how little time is left remaining. That sucks so much for Sinners.
He might not expect Beastic though, so Ryu doesn't deny the plan. He does get 1 kill and he expects Beastic. It's pandemonium. Sinners, they have no idea where to look. They're being shot from everywhere. And even though Stresserin will get 1, Ryu is just defusing the bomb. Gizmy gives him perfect coverage, and it's honestly one of those rounds for Sinners. I sit back and I go, okay, you did run the clock down a lot, but unlucky.
Yeah, you can't really fault them. I mean, I guess the big tipping point is once Ryu gets the second frag onto Beastic as well, because it's not like his position just straight up wins the round for his team. You know, by catching his opponents off guard, he's got to go one step further and win the gunfight there against Beastic. Now we have a leveled up scoreline, no residual cash for Sinners if they lose this round, then it could be 7-5 for Monte, and they'd feel pretty good about that return considering how things looked at one point.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good result but this has just been such a close-knit game.
Yeah.
Whoever comes out on top, I think you could have an argument of, just like they'll feel happy about that because both teams, it's really, you're splitting the tension with a knife down the middle. But that's a crazy opening kill. Azuwu from Great Britain. Got to throw it in there when we can.
Yeah, I mean, when have you ever said a player's nationality in the middle of the play-by-play?
Obviously, all the time.
Nauseating.
And IGL Gizmy from Great Britain. Sorry, I'll stop there now.
How about that Cypher?
He's getting his stickers.
Oh, that's the cope now. That's the point that we've reached. I mean, he does deserve that at a minimum. Listen, I can't even bag on him. I hate the move so much, even though it means I have to side with...
I hate to cut you off. I actually hate to cut you off because you're glazing GB. But right now, Monte, they haven't got much information. They've kind of been devoid of it.
By design, though.
Yeah, but this then puts all the emphasis on Gizmy and Bemis on B to hold.
Look at the time, though. They can't just shift walk the entire way forward. That could walk straight into the crossfire that's set up. Yeah, now they kind of know what's going on. Second part of the setup in towards jail right now. That's going to be Bemis who activates. He's found a kill. Gizmy not sitting by idly either. Again, Sinners leave themselves an immense amount of work to do very late in the round, and they crumble.
That's such a really nice round. And as you mentioned, it is completely by design. So Sinners, they smoke top con. They're in ladder room. They're in short. And they're just like, where is everybody? Like, they lost the opening kill. Where did they go? And so the reason why I'm mentioning that top con smoke is because they take so long, because they're trying to find a pick, because they don't know what's going on. And that allows Ryu to also activate from connector and shoot them from behind, force them to go quicker into a setup where they couldn't figure out who's who. And that's all from the opening kill. That's a great reaction from Azuru's kill in mid.
All right, well, last round of the first half. It's gonna have to be a round where Sinners don't have much to work with, and Bemis has just found 3 kills in from Sandwich. Shock will get 2 back, but the damage is done. Insurmountable challenge now for Peppo, last man left alive, and I was gonna say not for much longer. Afro does give him a bit of an extension, a bit of lease on his life there for a bit longer, but it is gonna be Monte who actually eke out a 7-5 halftime scoreline. They lost 5 rounds in a row in the middle part of the first half, and then were able to just whack, 4 back of their own. Great work.
The road to the top is a riddle. What will be my destiny? Money and fame are awaiting, but not enough is raining on me. Maybe I should give it all up. How much more can I take? Out here singing to the heavens. When I gonna get my break? I can run this town. 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 How will I get out of the jungle? Everybody wanna stop me. 10 more steps up the mountain. Now everybody's looking for me. Spend my life in the desert till something changed inside of me. Now I'm flying over oceans. Everybody looking at me. I can run this town. 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 Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Full power, get louder. I'ma get stronger, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter. Gonna hear my song, just watch me. Every hour, no doubter.
Monte string some beautiful rounds in a row on their CT side to give them the advantage heading into the second half. This is their opponent's map pick. Sinners, it felt like after they lost the pistol round, they were starting to build up momentum, but it all fell apart, and now maybe they have to rely on winning a pistol round of their own.
You're bang on, Freddy. A pistol round win would go a long way here for Sinners, but it hasn't gotten off to an ideal start. Zuru just devastating Pep with a fantastic frag from him, and he wants more, and he's taken more. 2-man advantage all of a sudden as they get the bomb plants as well.
This actually could be kind of like the nail in the coffin for Sinners, right? Yeah, they have to go for this retake, and Beastick has to create that magic that Gizmy did in this very position, but unfortunately, he's only good for 1, and there's no real support behind him. Stress around is there, but he's not even going for it. Maybe hopes that they overextended, he can get some quick kills, pick up the kit, but it's just going to be damage, and he doesn't even do any. Bemis has no armor, so it doesn't really matter that he loses some HP. How much util was actually bought into this round? 3 players don't have armor. Basically just full exec on the pistol round.
It's actually something that I've kind of spoken about in a lot of my casts, is that I think that 2 sets of armor on the T side of a T-side pistol is actually sufficient. Then you can get some upgraded pistols and utility with the rest of the money. I mean, in particular at this level, you're probably dying to headshots with the USP, so the armor at that point just doesn't really make much of a difference. And I think that the extra utility that you can get instead can be far more beneficial.
Okay. I mean, in this round, like it works. So I guess it's really good of you to bring up that point sign that you've always been talking about, that I've definitely heard you say before.
I genuinely have been talking about for a long time. Like,
I'm just pulling your leg. I knew you'd bite.
These damn kids.
See, not as quick on your feet as you thought, old man. Speaking
Sinners are going to have to be quite quick on their feet.
Yeah.
So they've got a 4 spy, and it feels like this game getting away from them quite quickly. This is now, what, 5 rounds in a row from Monte, from the back end of the first half into the start of the second.
They've got the numbers. They've got the numbers, and it's actually Peppo to get the opening kill. Issue is, look how much HP there is, or lack thereof, for Sinners. The reason why they had 4 players here is because Beestick just goes through apartments completely by himself. He clears all of that out, says, guys, stack A. And they do. Peppo gets the opening kill, but aside from that, it ain't going great. Double stack in CT. This nade, well, it's not going to do anything, but it could have got a double kill. And that's round over. That's Monte to 9 and almost guaranteed a 10th.
Yeah, it should basically just be a 10th locked in as well, right? Like you said, it's going to have to be an eco for Sinners in the next, so Monte are just charging ahead with this one at this point, and it's Sinners' map pick, and it's the map that we said Monte might actually struggle on a little bit. Looking pretty good, though, from top to bottom. Everybody is contributing in a meaningful way right now for Monte. And they're not showing signs of slowing down anytime soon either. Azu has been great. 15 and 10 from him. Looking like a live wire in the server at the moment.
Terrorists win.
Bit of a weird one for Azu, right? Because there's one round specifically where I point to it. I'm like, his over aggression is the reason why they lost that round. And there's another round where it's like, okay, he kind of overextends ahead of his teammates and they had a play, but he's just a step too far ahead. And it feels like he's actually got a lot of similarities when you look at like a Cypher. We were just talking about him, right? Both very individually talented, both like incredible aim, and very, hot to go. And at times he has been a bit too hot to go in this map, but he's also made up for it in a lot of other occasions. And I think it's really good to see him finding his form, because he has had a really rough career, all things considered. Like, he goes to endpoint and it's more of a failing endpoint where he's always struggling in his roles. He goes to Saw and I don't know, it always felt like it was always going to be a temporary thing, right? Like, he didn't have that long-term stability. So now he's looking to really build upon his career in Monte, alongside also a familiar face of Gizmy, who was coming up at a very similar time, or maybe Gizmy was like a year before or so, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's still a familiar face. They went to LANs together, etc., and competed against each other.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember he's only 21 years old, and
yeah, he's younger than me, man.
Although it hasn't been ideal with what's happened in his career in the early stages of it, there's also just a case to be made about how it's going to just teach him a lot about himself as an individual, as a player, what he wants in a team, the kind of environment he'd like to be in, and what he can bring to a team as well. So there's a lot that he would have learned, a lot of wisdom he would have gained from those failures and unsuccessful stints. So no, it hasn't been great, but at the end of the day, like, it could really, contribute in a big way going forward. It's the type of player he becomes.
This Mac 10, it's be farming.
Very nice.
Actually, quite important. It's not like massive, but gives me getting 4 kills. That's $2,400 extra. He also picks up the AK. Like, as far as it goes economically, Monte are in a pretty perfect position as they hit double digits. Got to remember, this is their opponent's map pick, and this is Monte really starting to run away with this map. And if especially they win this gun round, that may as well just be all she wrote.
Does feel that way. I mean, it's kind of as simple as that, right? Must-win round now for Sinners. They've lost 7 rounds in a row as Monte are running away with this into Dust2, their map pick. Lower bracket as well, ladies and gents, means there's no room for error out of either of these teams. Pretty standard start here from Monte, flexing their muscles in towards middle early on and then double backing. Gonna set themselves up for an A exec here with actually the entire team.
Yeah, keeping things simple. Sinners though, they've got a pretty good grasp on this. Beefstick has been left alone on the B bomb site. There's 4 players here. Peppo with his AWP on CT. These flashes gotta be sublime.
Oh, it's going to be Azu again on entry duty. He's able to find an opening kill. Peppo is the one to fall, and that's going to be now Monte in full side control. Nothing on offer as they break the smoke, and like you say, Ryu's committed the whole way through CT. They have to save here, though. I don't even think they can attempt the retake.
1 kill is all it takes. Very ballsy play, I will say, from Ryu to just dive through that CT smoke after getting the kill on the AWPer. But he kind of wins out the round indirectly. Even if Sinners had gone for the retake, he would have flanked. If they tried pivoted towards CT, he has them in his crosshairs. And he's already able to call for a very early exit. Say they are saving. They could go for the hunt, but they're not going to choose to do so. I honestly might have liked them to get a little bit aggressive here in the end and try and take out some of those weapons. But ultimately, Sinners, they'll keep 4 alive, but they can't play this game forever. They're down now by 6 rounds. Great, you're saved. No up though in this round, and there's only 2 rounds left for Monte.
Yeah. Paging Sinners, I mean, basically everybody's disappeared, bar Stresserin, who's been able to get himself up to double digits, but still has a negative KD. So we need the entire team. We need a couple players across the board here to try and pitch up, because right now we're not getting much out of Sinners at all. Like you say, the map about to go Monte's way as they look to try and accelerate in towards the speed bomb site for the first time. Stresserin will drop a Zuru, who was actually completely isolated. His team hadn't committed through the molly. And so it's just a very easy opening kill for Sinners, just gifted up by Monte.
Zuru sent to his grave, basically.
No, I think he took his own orders there. I don't think anybody sent him in. That looked like his own decision.
Maybe he's just very compliant.
Sensual. Well, then he's got awful teammates because nobody committed. They didn't smoke the molly to just follow up. So I'm gonna put that on his doorstep, I think.
Okay, well, this round is actually looking very difficult. Afro, though, given a freebie, and Bemis, after being dinked, backs away, which is really important because that nade would have killed him. It does do a lot of damage to the AWPer, but regardless, it's still a 4 versus 4. Ryu's also still in apartments, which leads me to believe the B bomb site is not finished just yet. It's going to have a little bit maybe more attraction. Issue is Gizmy's now been caught off. Didn't seem fully prepared, and that's been the name of the game, the name of the story in round 17 for Monte. Not really prepared.
Yeah, just making life awfully difficult for themselves, I'm afraid. And it's going to be Sinners who do win an important round to just keep themselves in the contest right now. Keeping 4 players alive and recovering the AWP as well, going to be a good boost to their economy as they look to try and mount the fight back. I was going to say, Afro, you've got so much money. Why would you go with the Mac 10 here, man? That's not necessary. Don't do that to yourself.
Are they just going to try to do it again, but this time with a little bit more vigor? Okay, this time, the B hit's happening. And Afro, he isn't stopping. B-Stick, that nade could have done so much damage, but he doesn't drop it. This MAC-10 is on the bomb site, scot-free. He has got to the back of the B bomb site without even seeing anyone. B-Stick from bench, though, doubles down. Shine to Gizmy. You can hold the site, so can I. And even though there was all that space made, Monte don't do anything with it. They don't get any kills, and they just get bunched up and spat out.
Yeah, I think Sinners also do a good job of just not panicking there. They never really lost their composure.
Yeah.
Everybody was able to just wait for the rotations to come through. Crossfire's set up. They held their nerve nicely. And that is going to be Sinners now drawing within 4. Monte not looking super inspiring with these past 2 rounds, the way that they've just tried to brute force their way into that B bomb site to finish off the job. Maybe finesse it a bit more than that.
Yeah, it's just kind of, to be honest, a call that... Yeah, it's a call that doesn't go well. Kisrek, though, he's a dead man. That nade is going to land on him. Boom. Stressorang gets traded over in middle as well. So it's an advantage for Monte, but very short-lived as Azuwu drops.
I was going to say, I think this is what Monte would want, and a brawl nice and early in the round, but Azuwu going down then tips the scales into Sinners' favor. Plenty time to play with in the round here as well. IGL still alive on both sides of the server. Now, Afro obviously has to gamble with the AWP in middle. You got to take liberties and just kind of hope and pray that you're not going to get peaked from awkward timings or awkward angles. And he's going to try and connect the dots with Gizmy, but Gizmy has to get past Chuck here in the corner. I just... Is this going to happen? Does he expect him here? Indeed. Great clearance there from Gizmy. Now he's got a free path onto the A bomb site. And Afro could be able to cut off these rotations. B-Stick's never going to expect him here in the corner of Connector.
Needs to hit the shot. Needs to hit the shot.
Oh, no.
The AWP overshoots. I was sitting there, Hayes. I was just thinking, that shot's not easy to miss, to hit. But Gizmy, oh yeah, we're playing some 4D chess. This is why he's the IGL, showing us what's up. Gets that kill towards A. Afro in con. Yeah, it's going to be an A finish. Peppo, he's cautious of CT. Gizmy's already on the B bomb site, but Peppo's kind of adjusted to this pretty quickly.
Oh, no.
And, oh, I don't know about that one. Gizmy plants so he can be seen from market, and the bomb never actually goes down there.
And have a look at the money for the T side. Look at what that extra $500 for each player would have done here for the investment for Monte. It kind of pushes him over the edge, you know. So maybe making just taking too many liberties, I think, in that situation. Should have just guaranteed the plant. Nice safe plant tucked in against the missiles there. Default. Either way, that is going to be 11-8. Scoreline looking a lot more digestible now for a Sinners fan. And it's going to be the half by now for Monte, so a great chance for Sinners to draw within 2. You're right, though. Afro was in a pretty awkward position. It always was going to be a difficult shot for him to hit, right? I do feel like he could have maybe given himself a little bit more time. It felt like he got a bit flustered.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's a very difficult position, but you kind of put himself in that position, right? So you got to then hit the shot if you are going to be chilling there. Not the greatest for Monte these last 3 rounds. Are they just gonna go and try brute force out B again? Looks like they're gonna wait for this early utility, but B-Stick, he's hit a nade and he's heard them. He's jumped up and it's a firing range. Only 2 kills, but hey, that's pretty good. Rotation's already here. Peppo sniping them down before they can even jump out of apartments. Ring, ring, rent is due. It's time for eviction. Gizmy and Ryu, they do get the bomb down, but Kisrek's already behind them. He's going to backstab them, and Ryu trapped between Molo and AWP, 2 riflers. There's nowhere to go. He's panicking. And Sinners, this CT side is on the burners.
It is, but I just don't feel like they're being massively tested right now. I feel like it's a pretty simple and one-dimensional T side coming through from Monte, and the peculiar part is it's not how they'd kind of started. It's almost once they got up to 11-5, then we saw them just going back to the super simple style where they're just grouping up and trying to push into a bomb site. But before that, there was a lot more focus on middle. There was more finesse within the round as well, so I'd like to see more of that, Monte, honestly. And maybe we'll get to see it here. I mean, they're still in the driver's seat. They're just 2 rounds away from finishing off the job. Same time though, Sinners are 2 rounds away from leveling up the scoreline, and they're the ones in the ascendancy.
That's a big nade from Kisserect. Gizmy. Catches it. Tries to throw it back, but it's a bit too late. B6 in apartments. This is the second time he's done this move. First time was the second round of the half. And, has he heard that? Either way, this is an insane piece of the puzzle. B-Stick, he's behind them. They're faffing around with utility. He's being held for. He gets one, and he survives. That's all that matters. He just smokes them off as well in T-Spawn. If you're Monte, what do you even do right now? Because you know that they know that you're here.
I mean, you do have time. Your hand isn't necessarily like entirely forced to try and go in towards the safe bomb side. You do have time to try and go back through spawn, but it does look like they can get forced into this A play. Sinners welcome them with open arms, knew exactly what was coming their way. Peppo will find himself a good multi-kill to lock in the round. Honestly, I think the best option there for Monte was to try and go back and challenge B-Stick, because it was just so obvious that they were going to be trying to push into A at that point.
If you're Kafufu,
Kakafu.
is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Oh.
But we can go with Kafufu if you like, it's quite cute. Not sure how he'd feel about that.
So you say it's Kakafu?
Yeah, go have a look on HLTV, man.
Is he Austrian? Kaka means poo in German.
You're probably the first caster who's ever thought that before.
I
don't imagine most say it.
That's so confusing. Well, he's probably quite confused as well. He's just sitting here, head in his hands, just thinking, oh, what's going wrong? Like, this was all set up for success for Monte, but as soon as on their map pick, starting to show why it is their map pick, and kind of the first time in this map that they're really stepping up, and all the individuals are as well. Like, Shock is struggling, but apart from him, I can't look at a piece and say they're having a dull moment.
Yeah, it feels like Sinners have been a bit slow to start on both the halves, but once they come online, they mean business. Nice shot there from Gizmy, a little bit extra economic damage. Thought he was going to path his way through his own smoke. He does spot the player towards Cat, but really at this point, there's not much that he can do or play for in the round. AK might be nice. 11-all though, the imminent scoreline. Monte would have been licking their chops at 11-5, thinking that the job was as good as done. But Sinners have been able to fight their way back to this 11'd up scoreline.
Honestly, I thought the job was done, and I was actually sitting here coming out of this map thinking, that's quite a disappointing performance from Sinners. Like, you know, their map pick, and they kind of just get completely rolled. They've really made a case for themselves on this defense. 11-11. Monte seemingly have just run out of ideas. And what's really worrying is they ran out of ideas from like the second gun round. They seem to have no real depth and just kind of try to throw things at the, like through just the kitchen sink at the wall. And nothing stuck. So now there's been a moment of grace, some time to talk over. It's kind of do or die, and there's a lot of utility missing. Like I look at Afro and Ryu, they've got a Molo and Smoke combined, which honestly isn't ideal for this round.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to make it work. It's as simple as that. No two ways about it. If Sinners are able to get themselves up to map point first, they're going to have a very good chance of finishing off the job from there because Monte won't have much money. Sinners guaranteed a full buy no matter what happens here. And Monte now going for that 2-2-1 default. Taking their time, waiting to see if there's going to be any plays made by the CT side that they can potentially punish before making their own move.
We're at a minute mark, and it just feels like a stalemate that is only favoring Sinners. 2 smokes left, that's all Monte has. And Beastic, he's starting to get a little bit agitated, but maybe this is the agitation that Monte wanted. The minds clash in middle, but it's Gizmy to come out on top. Peppo disorientated. There's players running across his screen, but it's Afro to atomize him. Shock is all on his shoulders. Smoking Palace is fading. Ryu has to pop through, trades out his teammate. Bomb can be picked up and can be planted safely with Monte in the driver's seat looking to park their car on map point.
Yeah, I really like the layers in this round coming through from Monte. With the way that they combine, coming through Connector and the players coming through from Palace as well, crunching in on that A-bomb site. Surely Sinner's going to attempt the retake. Makes no sense not to when you've got the type of money that they have behind them. But nothing on offer. Nothing being found right now. Monte just keeping themselves tucked in. Maximum discipline here in the post plant. Don't want to make any mistakes that could potentially give up the round from here. Kisarek could catch Bemis off guard. No, he's focusing in towards CT. Free frag for the Lithuanian. Ooh. And it is going to be Monte indeed who get themselves up to 12. It's taken them a lot longer than what they would have liked, but they've finally gotten here.
They like to do it the hard way, and it all comes from Beastic, as I said, getting a little bit agitated, trying to spot out what's going on in middle, because they hear nothing. They genuinely have no idea what's going on. There's not even like a window smoke up, if I'm not mistaken. And he misses the jump as well. Isn't that so rough that he misses the jump of all things? That's what gets him killed. Beastic's going to be hitting himself afterwards. And Monte, they slow things down, and they just kind of get the round gifted into their hands. Kisarek chomps on that nade to start off this round, but he sends one straight back onto Gizmy. 60 damage and 54 damage. That's not 54.
That's 44, Freddy.
That's 44.
You know what? I'm such a nice guy that I'm just not even going to say anything about it.
Probably for the best.
What I will say is the numbers that are super easy to add up are the ones at the top of our screen. And it is that Monte win this round, map over. Sinners win this round, we go into overtime.
Oh yeah. Overtime's calling potentially, because Ryu dies lurking in Palace. That's going to force Monte to go towards B right now, if they like it or not. And Peppo is on the other side. The Executioner with his AWP on short needs to be careful, because he might not expect Afro to be so close behind Gizmy. There's actually a Zulu in jungle? How's he got here? Monte are everywhere, but not together. Afro's walking up short, seeing if he can try join with BMS, and he overlooks Beastic. Big moment indeed. Azuru jumps into ladder to try and join up with his teammates, and even though the corner doesn't get cleared, even though Afro overlooks, it's still on. Maybe not overtime just yet. Bemis, nice flash. That actually fully blinds Mr. Stresserin in market. And where do Monte go? They've got no safe place, and Bemis is forced to fight. Reveals himself and leaves Azuru left in this 1 versus 2. 2 kills so far in this round. Swings out, but Stresserin puts him down and secures overtime.
Oh, that was on a knife's edge at a moment there. It looked like Azuru and Bemis may have found a way to win the round for their team, regardless of how unlikely it had looked in the 4v2. They get a quick couple of kills, but Sinners will hold their nerve and complete the retake. And that means we're going to run it back in overtime. Feels like overtime's actually kind of a deserved result for this game with how closely contested it's been. Like, you know, Sinners, they fought back super hard. If they hadn't even gotten overtime at a minimum, that would have been quite brutal for them. If Monte had gone on to lose the game in regulation 13-11, that would have been super brutal for them as well. So it's like, overtime's a bit of a meet in the middle, you know? Bit of a handshake. Run it back. See what happens.
I think Monte, though, really head in hands, to be honest. That they haven't. Yeah, that they haven't closed out this map. And I think overtime in itself is a victory for Sinners, as now they're in overtime. I feel like it's all going to be in their favor. Kisarek does get the opening kill, but very quickly traded So Monte, they're able to take mid control, and they're all here. There's no lurks anywhere. Normally they've had Ryu at least in Palace, for instance, but this time all 4 players are in middle, so they're just gonna have to brute force their way up wherever they go, deathball style.
And they're going to have a path void of death to get onto the safe bomb side eventually until they force their way as deep as Snipers goes. Stressor and eventually forced into a fight. That's going to cost him his life. And it's Monte who are going to be able to plant the bomb here as well. Good chance in the retake, despite the fact that they're down by a man. There is a flank out of shock, and he's going to find a kill. It's not the cleanest, but he's actually doubled down. He might have to do more work from here as well. Can't clock out just yet. In fact, he's got the whole clutch left remaining. Low on health. They know where he's coming from. Monte open up first in OT.
Actually, super surprising round, and Azul maybe redeeming himself a little bit. It's not like it was an easy rat clutch to win, but he could have closed it out for Monte in regulation. He steps up with a massive multi-kill. He's really been on fire. Him and Gizmy are flying the GB flag very high, and that's not even cope. 20 kills and 23 kills. Those 2 players are at the top of the scoreboard. Gizmy's joint with Stressor and Azulu.
Not to fly the flags too high, Freddy, or they might get arrested.
What? That's I don't live there anymore. It doesn't matter. I haven't lived in England for
That's a good one.
Like 7 years. So it doesn't matter. Not my problem anymore.
Okay, I'm going to remember that the next time that you celebrate a great British player, just by the way. Like, you've just told me now, yeah, don't really have much connection to the players anymore. All good. Don't identify with it. Either way, this is looking good for Sinners to answer back. We could be going on for Mirage for a while, because it's only Azul left, and it's not going to be for much longer, taking down 30.
No. Just an interesting play from the beginning, I'll be honest. Not exactly sure what the game plan was. Like, Ryu and Gizmy just swing out mid. And then there's also a lurk in apps. Like, there's a lot going on, very Pug-esque style. Monte probably had a read that Sinners were maybe going to be out and exposed. Sinners were also fighting mid head on, but Monte come out worse for wear as there was just, as I said, big absence of util. And back into our final round of overtime in this first half. Monte, they're able to cling on to their lead, or will Sinners be grappling back? The up foot, the front foot in this map for... Have they even had the lead ever in this map?
Yeah, they did. They were 5-3 up in the first half, remember?
Very early on, though, so quite a return it would be for them.
Absolutely. Nice boost up there from Afro. He's going to be able to catch Kisarek off as he tries to go back through Connector. Stressor going to pick up where his teammate left off, but he suffers the same fate. Big kill out of Azulu. Man advantage now for Monte as a result. Shot going to drop a smoke will give him a safe passage in towards the B bomb site, but that's not where the focus is for Monte right now.
It's all to do with Peppo. This all flick doesn't even come near, and Azulu hunts him down. There's blood in the water, and the hound has been let off its leash. Azulu is fighting his way forward with Overwatch and protection being garnered by the AWP. B-Stick has to go and attempt this, but it'll just be put down at range. A 14-3 lead. Monte not allowing Sinners to recoup the control like they had in that first half.
Alright, well, we think back to regulation. We had 7-5 halves with both teams finding 7 rounds on their T side. So to be able to win 2 rounds on your T side in overtime kind of actually does quite well, right? Wait, with 7-5 halves on the CT side, actually. So Monte have set themselves up nicely as a result of getting 2 rounds on their T side of overtime.
Yeah. Sinners won 5 in a row on their T side, and then Monte won 8 in a row, 4 split between the CT and T side, but that T side mostly came from the pistol round. It was the CT side where they won the gun rounds, and it looked really clinical. And Gizmy on a second AWP. I've never seen that before, but okay.
I'm not sure I have either.
And it connects, and it works kind of perfectly as Bemis just holds down. They try and hunt the AWP, but the AWP's already faded away. Support's there. Gizmy, put him on the main AWP, because Afro, he's just missed a sitter and actually given Sinners a way back in.
Oh, and it looks like they're going to force their way back in after just slightly opening up the door with that kill on Afro. 3v3, B bomb site ripe for the taking. But still just holding off for a little bit longer here, giving Kisarek some time to maybe combine and join up with the team. Monte not overcommitting in either direction either, just going to be waiting to see exactly what's going on before they make any decisions themselves.
Ryu stabilizing momentarily. Gizmy still on B, and it looks like the bomb's still going to commit there. Stress around might just open, though, a pathway towards the A bomb site as Zulu locks it down. Gizmy maneuvering around. Here's Peppo jumping out, gets around the corner. I don't know if he's been spotted. It looks like Peppo's very aware the AWP could be here, but Azulu has arrived on the scene. 15 seconds, Gizmy. This is a very awkward position to be in, and somehow he's just circumnavigated Peppu to find 2 with the AWP in the round.
Well, I couldn't help but think, I bet he wishes he had a rifle right now, but he don't have right with the opening kill, and the AWP doesn't actually cost him at the end there either. So just some really smart decision making with how he moves around the bomb site and then ends up tucked into the empty pillar. Finds the opening frag and the closing kill as well, does the captain, affording Monte 2 chances to finish off Mirage.
Okay, Monte, they did a bit of trolling, but it's just for the entertainment value, the viewership retention, as one might say.
Yeah, when trying to keep the stream going for a little bit longer, right?
Yeah, you know, really get the day rates out of us.
Got nowhere else to be, man.
Yeah, Afro's good at...
favorite.
Yeah, I was going to say, Afro's actually got a bit of redemption potentially in this round, because Gizmy's just got 2 in the AWP and Afro missed a sitter. He's probably sitting here thinking, oh God, really need to hit a shot right now. And to be honest, he really does actually, as it looks like this top con smoke is a fugazi. They're going to want to go through that.
Big moment. Sinners have been able to do quite well to scale forward without actually losing anybody in the process. So they're just going to be all over the same bomb site like a rash. Ryu's fully committed. Afro is there in towards CT, but he can get locked out by a smoke grenade. And now moves start to be made, and it's going to be Kisarek who draws first blood.
Zulu tries to find one between the fire, doesn't, but Afro, there he is, connecting, Gizmy rotating, AWP, AK, he can do it with whatever, and that kill, it just forces Sinners to sit on this site. They've lost all of their control, they've got nothing. Peppo will be able to fall back in towards ramp, but now he's left by himself with an AWP in his hand. He connects on the first, able to jump around the corner. There's no smoke for the bomb. It's planted for him, but he doesn't know where both these players are. Spots out Gizmy, and it's perfection. Afro just sitting, and patience rewards him as Monte. It ain't easy. They should have closed out in regulation, but they'll just do it in overtime anyways.
Well, you mentioned how Afro needed a moment there to show up Gizmy with the AWP and remind him who the boss is in the server. What a moment coming through there from Afro. Even playing in the smoke there as it starts to fade, leaving him exposed, but he knows he's in a super unorthodox position. Catches that first player off guard. Still a good attempt from Sinners in what was a...
Actually across all the maps, or is it just Mirage specific? Do they struggle on the attack? But Monte, when they were on that defense, like the AWP was hitting, the riflers were singing a pretty nice tune, And for Sinners, they've played a lot of Counter-Strike recently. Both teams obviously have. Everyone is grinding their way. But for Sinners, it's been lands, it's been traveling. And it has rewarded them with 30 spots in the VRS ranking. But, you know, they're playing multiple best of threes over these last couple days across multiple tournaments and lands as well. They're probably a bit tired, I'll be honest. And this is, I think, a really good opportunity for Monte to strike.
All right, well, let's see if they'll be able to. As you speculated, it's going to be Sinners who start off on the CT side. Pepper baited in perfectly. My goodness, way to take advantage of the fact that Stresserin takes the contact initially. Pepper just rattles off a couple of shots. He finds 2 kills in the process, and that should just be immediately pistol round over. Shouldn't be any conceivable world in which Monte can recover the 3v5.
I was going to say, you don't want to jinx it, but Kisarek just nails 2. Gizmy will get a wallbang, so we'll find a second kill for Monte. He probably could actually try and contend towards B as all 3 players were huddled up there together on A. I don't think this round is ever winnable. This would be a mental 1v4. I don't know, maybe a bomb down. That even then is asking quite a lot. And yeah, look, Stresserin is there with shot if needed, but he's not even needed.
HLTV rating is kind of crazy at the moment, the 3.0. You have a look at the scoreboard, Freddy. Just pull it up quickly.
Let me see.
From the previous map, Peppo went 20 for 17, so he's the second highest fragger for Sinners.
Oh my god.
0.84 rating with a 20
Holy
for 17. That's one of the more egregious ones I've seen from 3.0 so far, I must say.
Did he just not do anything?
It's so weird, right? Like, I'd have to go back and watch the demo and actually focus on Peppo to see how he's getting his kills and how little they actually went on to contribute.
I mean, okay, so he got an opening kill once on Ryu, died twice to a Zulu. He got 5... He got actually a lot of AWP kills. Surprising, like, honestly, loads. 2, 9...
Must have all been in losing rounds, though. I guess that's probably the main reason why his rating is as low as
14. He got 14 of his 20 kills of AWP kills.
Okay, but how many of those kills came in winning rounds? I know I'm asking you a lot.
Actually,
I don't expect you to get it for me.
Can you actually find that on HLTV?
You just have to go back and manually check it out and see which the rounds they were.
Well, I mean,
you don't have to. I'm not.
I can tell you probably not any of them, seeing how...
That's the thing, right? That's what I'm speculating with his rating being what it is.
Yeah, because swing is basically what RWS used to be, which is round win share. And when it's like... being minus 3% there is actually really bad. So Peppo, bit of low impact. I mean, like at the end, right, gets 2 AWP kills and a failed 1v3. So it's unfortunate, but that's not going to help round swing. Regardless, though, this was just an eco round for Monte. A bomb down is a possibility, but B-Stick doubling back towards this. Oh, never mind. That's a timing and a half. Bomb actually is probably going to get planted now. That's actually really big for Monte. Oh.
Unlucky. Kisarek and B-Stick will combine to finish off the job against the Eco. Sinners get themselves that 2-0 start. Afro doubling down on the scout. Peppo gonna have the big brother, the AWP at his disposal, giving him a big advantage in that head-to-head fight. That's a tag.
So it's a nice start. No bomb down for Monte in the previous, but hey, they still have the full up here as they didn't really invest. It was just an eco. Stresserin, he got tagged, but he actually gets his first kill of the map. Straight spam onto Gizmy. A bit of a head scratcher, a bit of a tilter maybe for the IGL, but it's Sinners. A very comfy man advantage to begin Dust2, and now they can just hunker down and go into their shell.
Yeah, they don't have to make any more moves in the round. As you kind of suggest, they've already done their job in terms of finding an opening kill, getting themselves an advantage, and now prioritizing the bomb sites themselves. As for Monte, looking to just group up in middle, smoke CT, and then just try and crunch in on the speed bomb site.
And they're able to isolate what would be a 4v2, but Peppo able to catch Azuu at the top of the CT smoke. That evidently not thrown correctly. He shouldn't be able to do that. B-Stick, oh, that's a little bit over-aggressive. And because of his over-eagerness to try and help his teammates, he falls the wayside. Bemis and Ryu now into a 2 versus 4. Monte always on the back foot in this round. They've got an opportunity to thrive. This is a huge altercation, and Kisrek comes out on top, but Bemis, he's making a proactive move through the doors. Will Peppo ever imagine him to be out through window? Bemis starting to get agitated. Peppo just swings into his crosshairs. Smoke on the bomb. No kit for Kisrek. He's going to try and jump on it. Bemis, the knife's out. Time's ticking down. Kisrek's just not even going to try and defuse. Okay, I mean, it's a lovely 1v2 for Bemis, but he kind of gets handed that 1v1.
I don't think there was any way Kisrek could have won that. He probably had to just go for the gamble spam through the smoke there and hope that he could have gotten the kill because he wouldn't have been able to stick the defuse. Bemis had already smartly just dropped down into the bomb site with his knife out. He was ready to just swipe the smoke should he hear the defuse being tapped. Very well played there. I mean, both Bemis and Ryu just kind of trying to make moves of their own. Just completely different wavelengths, evidently, but it still works out in the end. Look at what this buy looks like for both teams. Freddy, this is like a forced buy on both sides of the server. I don't see this all that often.
It's actually quite a funny purchase. So everyone dies, obviously. No one had any money to work with. This is good mental. Very similar round, actually. Like we're seeing the same flashes, same piece of utility, same space being taken by Monte. This time, however, they haven't lost a player early. I speak and it happens. Okay, the force buy. Don't blame you for not knowing which side that is. The force buy for the CT side. Shock actually doubles down with the FAMAS. Azuu and Gizmy. God save the king no more.
Yeah, how did they recover this round? It was a 3v4 in the previous as well, or 4v5, I guess. Still just down by a man. They were able to make that one work. Can they make this one work as well? Just clustered together, making their way in towards A. There's a player in on Goose right now. That's Shock there without any utility. There's a player who's trying to watch the cross, but it's not an AWP, so it's a lot easier for Bemis to skirt on by. Loses that duel with Shock, and there's no immediate trade either.
I mean, there's not even like an attempt of a trade. Ryu's still back shore. Afro's on Gandalf. All 4 players now here for the party, for the Sinner side. Stresser him, waiting to strike. This is a difficult position where Ryu just gonna clear him. Yeah, not a fan of that. They know Shock's here. They know B-Stick's on the ramp, but B-Stick will find the head. It's all down to now Afro, but Shock finds his 4th kill of the round. He activates the aggression at the beginning and then just shuts down that whole execute.
Yeah, very well done there, just in terms of how they go about their business. I mean, they really let Monte come to them, but at the last moment, that's where Shock does decide to take the initiative and works out as he's able to get the kill and then buy time for the rotations to come through from his teammates as well. Sinners immediately back to winning ways after losing their first round. How many rounds has Afro to scout in? Mate, can you just not buy a scout in one of these rounds? Is he allergic to not having a scout every single round right now? This is the round that you full save, so that
he's gonna buy a scout next round, you know.
I know, but that's why I'm saying, like, I get it initially, but he could have gotten the AWP in the next round, at least a glass cannon, no? Wouldn't that have been more worth it? Just otherwise, it could be ages before he even gets an AWP in this half.
Yeah, the whole point is to do, like, get kills in this round through the scout, because even if you're investing, what, 1,700, and you get 2 kills, and it's something to do with the scout, right? It actually makes it worthwhile. And he's doing so much damage. Shock on 6, Kisrek 31, Peppo 50. Shock should be dead, by the way. I don't know what happened, but he got hit by like for 50 on the jump peak. So many players have been damaged. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's really going to matter. Another one. 4 players have been hit by this scout. It's actually traded hands. It's now in Azuru's. And this is when the damage starts to matter. The Glocks are activating. Bomb looking to be planted. Stressor and Dinked. Everyone's low. Azuru's got the scout, but unfortunately can't even fire a single bullet. And there you see the value from the scout. And oh my god, it could have been a round win. Just look at the HP.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly does come very close on that occasion, but I don't think it's convinced me that you should just be buying the scout no matter what the round is, every single round on the T side of Dust. I think there's still a time and a place. Either way, he has now got an AWP dropped across to him by Azuru, so all's well and ends well at the end of the day, actually. Does have the big green afforded to him.
And they got the 2 kills.
Can they take advantage of that, though, by winning this round here? Because that's really all that matters. I mean, if you don't get the round after doing all the economic damage, it's basically just inconsequential at that point.
We've seen this before for Monte. Get in mid control and short. Every time they've been in this position, they've been disrupted, by the way. We've never actually seen like a default for Monte. It's either Gizmy being spammed through the smoke, shot getting aggressive with the FAMAS. So this is the first time that we've seen Monte have this default. They've done it 3 times in 3 gun rounds. And they finally have kind of like the space that they wanted. So what are they going to do with that? And it looks like they're doubling back and going to be taking... Oh, they're not going long. But in the meantime, B-Stick has flashed in towards short. Shock, however, previously the aggression worked out. This time he just falls for free. And now the acceleration towards B occurs.
Yeah, a bit more space and respect being given up here by the CT side. Pepper will get a kill, and then round the corner, Azuru surprisingly doesn't actually pursue the trade there. I think he could have gotten it had he just rounded the corner and committed. He will still find the frag eventually anyway, and that's going to allow for the bomb to path its way through. B-Stick, though, through the smoke. Finds an unlikely kill on Beamers. That's a man advantage to the 2 remaining players here for the T-side. Both have VOPs. This could be really tricky for them. Afra connects on the first as they round the corner, overwhelm him. B-Stick with the massive contribution as Sinners go up 5-1.
What's Azuru doing?
No
so
idea.
just again, on your point, like if he was able to trade out Pepu, I would assume that the players in mid would have a much quicker passageway, and actually there probably would have been a 3 versus 3 instead, right? And then also, like, what's he doing picking up the AWP? You're playing close quarter Counter-Strike. He tries to get an opening kill and tries to put it down to 2 versus 2, sure. But then if he had a rifle there, I'd say that round has a, I don't want to say it's winnable, right? But the likelihood of that 2 versus 3 being won if he had a rifle is so much higher. He overcooks that round, and Monte, I actually don't know how they lose that after Shock just gives up his life for free in mid, and there's only 1 player on the B bomb side. Peppo, he was the reason why. And now, again, he doubles down in round 7 with the AWP. There, that's the round swing you want to be talking about.
Yeah, that's a great contribution from him. Opening frag found, and then even a little double dip from him as he re-peeks back around the corner to find another kill. This half now disintegrating for Monte on their map pick as Sinners are looking to race to a 3rd map. Early days yet, but the CT side looking super polished at the moment. Great read from them. B-Stick looked a little bit slow. Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to hit you with counter pick. I am saying polished CT side. Like, it is good, don't get me wrong, but it's the T side of Monte. I said, will it be a systemic issue? Honestly, I think so. Like, sure, this is great from Peppo. You know, super dynamic with the AWP. They have just peeked into his crosshair for 3 kills in a row.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. But well, I guess more what I refer to is like that there's been a nice balance between plays being made here from Sinners, but then not overextending them in some situations as well.
Counter-terrorists win.
Like Sinners have been disrupting Monte, but they haven't been overcommitting in these rounds as well. They've seemed to have a pretty good respect for the line so far on the CT side, making life difficult for Monte, but not playing overly aggressively either. Monte trying a variation as they try and get out towards long early on doesn't bode well for them. Gonna have to be a half buy here for Monte. Where's that scout afro? I know you're gonna. Come on.
He's gonna do it. You can see 3.1k. Ooh.
He's definitely gonna, because Gizmy or Bemis will just drop him an AWP in the next.
Surely, right?
You know he's 100%.
He wants to dip in. He wants to do it. Yeah, man. No way.
Wow.
Oh,
This is the moment he doesn't? Yeah, womp womp.
Yeah. I mean, a tactical pause, which we're not gonna, well, we shouldn't see the results instantly. I don't suspect this round on what is a half buy that Monte's tactical pause was used for.
Oh yeah, I mean, I probably wasn't what the main discussion was about, but sometimes you do have some strats that you want to bring to the table in these sorts of rounds where you have a bit more to work with, like a bit of a pocket rocket type of strat. Max round loss bonus means they've got extra utility and upgraded pistols, been able to scale quite far forward.
Yeah. It's just now the big emphasis on the next gun round. I mean, this would be a nice round to win for Monte, as they are coming up short, but Kisserex already dispatched with one, and he's just going to cycle those grenades in CT spawn. He's going to be dumping them. Bomb will go down. That's going to help them. This retake, well, not even going to be needed, because that bomb does not go down.
Not yet, at least. Some extra money would be nice here for Monte, and it's not going to happen. Bemis, what reason does he have to not actually commit to the bomb plant while he's in the smoke there? It's not like he's ever going to be able to fake the plant, get a kill, get a gun, fake the plant again, get to... Oh my god, Bemis going to want... No, bro. No. You were never going to 1v5 there. Should have just committed to the bomb plant. No idea why he didn't.
Okay, so this is the round that I was talking about that has the importance. They took the tactical pause, and it kind of all now lives and dies with round 9. This is where they should start putting pen to paper. They will also get a tag through the mid doors early on. Shock down to 20 HP as Sinners have orchestrated themselves in a 3-man B defense early on, already leading to that part of the map.
I mean, this is just straight up a must-win round for Monte. No two ways about it. Lose this, and it's probably just going to be too far gone at that point. What do they revert back to? Able to get themselves cat control, now heading in towards short. Peppo's in quite a brave position, because if you get flashed off, it's not like you can just immediately jump back to safety, especially if the T's pursue you. And it does look like they're going to head in his direction in a couple moments' time. There are flashes in play here for the T side as well, so you imagine Peppo's going to get blinded before they look to try and take the fight. He should be dead. And then there's just nobody left after him. He's the last line of the defense and the first.
What? Okay, he doesn't get away. Gizmy does trade just about. He's still able to get one in that very advanced position, but if he was a little bit more reserved, he'd probably still kicking and fighting. This bomb wouldn't be so easy to plant. Gizmy taps in those digits. What a nade. Both Gizmy and Azu, about 80 HP in total, but it's Ryu from the flank. A late lurk through the mid doors, and they are just completely blindsided. It's a simple round for Monte, and Sinners, it's just the wrong call. They had 3 players on B, and Peppo dies early on A as the only defender.
Yeah, I guess Sinners trying to be one step ahead of their opponents, thinking that Monte have had a lot of misfortune over towards the A bomb site, so maybe this will be the round that they attempt something different. But Monte just stubborn and persistent with A. Peppo goes down, and everything just falls neatly into place from there for Monte as they're able to double up their round count, but there has to be a whole lot more where that came from. Win this round here, then we could start to have a bit of a dialogue at that point. Maybe a conversation to be had.
Ooh, that would have been a great opening kill for Gizmy. Peppo's been tormenting them on this CT side. He's been so dynamic around this A bomb site, and he's still kicking. He's also going to be supporting his IGL with utility. This flash, though, it might not blind Afro. As B-stick close, just gets a freebie. Flash in, everyone is blind. Oh my god, it's marvelous. Beestick and Peppo support each other for 2 kills, and Monte, these defaults have all just been the same, and they just get torn apart before they can even really get going.
Yeah, that's because Sinners have been looking to be active. I mean, the one round we didn't see that from them. They gave up all the space and respect to Monte, and look at what happened in that previous round. It worked out perfectly for the T side. This time they go back to getting in the faces of their opponents. It's Beestick again. And now, should be a pretty simple defense setup over on the safe bomb side. Peppo lucky to be alive. Beestick not as fortunate, but it's all good. Kisarek arrives on the scene. Afro gets stinked. He's probably just going to look to try and save his gun at this point. And Sinners again, just immediately back to winning ways after losing a round. Business as usual.
And also just like super... I mean, from Sinners there, Beestick and Peppo, like it's lovely gameplay, right? They boost up and then they fall back instantly into a setup. They know their role and they know exactly what to do. But it's so... It just feels too easy. Beestick gets 2 kills and backs away like nothing happened. And that's been the real theme of Monte, is it's Stresser getting a kill through the smoke, but it's actually because there's a gap on top and Gizmy just walked into it. Shock just kind of walking in short and getting 2 kills. Beestick doing the exact same. This T side from Monte, it's just giving me... I'm sitting here just flashbacks to Mirage T side. I think it's a bigger issue than just the map. It seems... Their attack is struggling.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've noticed in the past with Monte before as well. I notice you don't lay the blame anywhere. Generally, when teams are having problems with the strats, people look at the IGL, Freddy. Yeah, your boy. Good old Gizmy. And what was it, Kafafu? Was that what we went with there earlier?
Kafafu.
I can't remember.
Which straight up means poo in German.
Okay, remind everybody in case they missed that in the previous map. What the hell, Gizmy? How have you not gotten that kill? How have you not been able to catch Stresser and you knew he was coming? Stresser and adjusts, he gets the kill. Beestick also going to go through the smoke looking to make plays. It's a sunken cost fallacy at this point. They're like, well, we're already behind in the round. We might as well try and make another play, lose that play. Okay, well, we're even further behind. Let's try gamble again. Doesn't work out either.
We're going to lose anyways, right? I mean, when you are in an offset like that, you do have to do something maybe a little bit more radical to eradicate it. But unfortunately, in rounds like this, it just really hasn't worked. Shock over on B. They are maybe coming towards him, but Ryu will just really cleanly decapitate him. And even though Gizmy does die early in top mid, Monte, they find their third. And a fourth, look, like a fourth here, plus pissed around second half. We know they're better on the CT sides. It's a legit argument that they could be let back into this map.
Yeah, I'm willing to have a conversation if they can make it 8-4 here in the half. And there's a very good chance they should be able to as well, considering what weapons Sinners have to work with coming into this one. Sinners basically had a chance to put this game away in the first half. They seemingly haven't been able to. And also, Afro is online. I mean, he's been hitting a lot of shots with the sniper rifles. I mean, we saw how many tags he's got with the scout. You imagine he's going to be a very difficult player to go up against that second half when he's on the CT side with the AWP, right? They just got to get to a point where they're still in the game and they're able to get Afro his AWP. That'll be the main objective in the early stages of the second half.
Full B execute. Kisserect. This ain't gonna be easy. This scout. Okie dokie. So Afro, that's how you use a scout apparently. Unfortunately, even though that is a really nice shot, I don't think it really matters. As Monte, they're keeping their head above the water. It's been a troublesome T side. But it looks like it should all come to an end here. Beestick, he's aware of Gizmy. I don't think Gizmy's aware of him just because of how late he is, but a 1 versus 3, it doesn't look very likely. He's making a pretty good case for himself. That's actually a really nice shot onto Beamers, but Afro will lay him to rest. Sinners, they still have the lead. They're still probably got the momentum on their side, but Monte, 3 rounds won out of the last 4. They're making a case to try and end off this series 2-0 and eliminate Sinners in the lower bracket of the ECL Season 50 European Cup Series 3.
Monte have kept the door slightly ajar coming into the second half by winning the tail end couple of rounds in the first half as they make it 8-4, but it does feel like they require the pistol round to keep the fight back going here to start off their CT side.
Yeah, the door's open on conditions. Pistol round and most likely the first gun round. It was a very rough T side, but 3 out of the last 4 rounds in the half makes it on face value not even look too bad. It's their map pick for a reason. Time to show it on the defense. Time to show it on this B hold. Azuu, Ryu, they need to step up massively. Azuu takes first contact. Ryu, though, they're just running into his crosshair, and he is mowing them down just in time for Afro to come in on the flank, which was already being activated before the execute even happened. Beastick, though, I don't think he's going to win this round. He gets the bomb down. So that in itself is already success for Sinners, considering how poorly this was all starting.
I do like the reposition here from Afro just to make sure he doesn't get isolated while trying to come through from the tunnels. They're just going to combine 1 through the window, 2 through the doors. The player through window takes first contact, and then the trade found immediately afterwards. Nice quick movements made there from Afro with his flank initially and then doubling back to join up with his teammates. Great effort from Ryu there. I mean, he was the guy who kind of got baited in initially. Then Azuu didn't really contribute, right? He wasn't able to get a kill, but Ryu makes up for that by getting 3 of his own. Meant that Monte always had the man advantage in the retake. Then Afro was very quickly there. So good work. There's that first objective now checked off your list, right?
And also super clean. But the issue with the bomb going down is it makes the pathway just that little bit harder, as Sinners, they're going to be buying quite aggressively into this next round. 2 kills as well means maybe an extra primary rifle out that wouldn't be there ordinarily. 2 AKs, a scout, 2 deagles, but Afro's got the AWP and he just shuts Peppo down. So a lot of danger already just eradicated.
I was talking about how important the AWP is going to be for Monte coming into their CT side, and I spoke about how they've got to get that AWP in play as quickly as possible. I wasn't expecting it as early as the second round. And Sinner's already made privy to that AWP's presence as well.
It's going to be very difficult. Gizmy is very isolated in middle though. I'm not a fan of how he's just out there by himself when they're in this 5 vs 4, knowingly up against a 4 spy, and Azuru also called off B stick. Where has he just pulled that one out from? Sinners, they didn't want to go towards B, but B stick in his path of desolation has just opened up safe passageway, and everyone around him just goes, cheers mate, thanks. And Monte, well, they won the pistol round and then straight back down to square one.
Yeah, Beastick just gets one-on-one gunfights offered up to him, and he says, don't mind if I do. Like you say, Gizmy's position where he can't fall back, he can't try and play off of utility or a teammate. It's just all in on that play. I mean, even if it's like Tech 9s on the other side, it's just not a great position to set yourself up in the sort of a round. He goes down. Azuru, I guess, wants to try and be proactive and hope that maybe being out in the open could catch maybe Beastick off guard, but Beastick looking so sharp with it that he's able to just adjust while he moves his way forward. Really good counter strafing from Beastick. Sinner's got to be careful that they don't overcommit you. They really want to try and remove the Zorpa from the round. Afro, is he going to be found? Do they respect the line? It looks like they will. Gives Monte a bit of hope going into this next round.
Okay, so even though Afro got the opening kill in the last round, that wasn't enough. He's going to have to do something even crazier. It might come in the way of aggression in underpass. He seemingly has called off that line and instantly now pivots over towards short. Bemis, he's got the hero rifle that he saved over, and that's over towards long. So basically, all the eggs are put into this A bomb site basket, and Gizmy, well, he died there last round. He dies there this round. Ryu, he's just all by himself. I mean, he gets 1 kill. Nice, but there was no way he was going to get anything more than that.
And that's a problem. And if it wasn't before, it certainly is made one now. Azuru's tough times continue. 4 for 13 on the map. Gizmy not much better with 5 kills, and Beastick is hunting. Bemus is going to be the one. Never mind. I was going to say to pay the price for this life to get the info on Beastick's position. He's at least able to hold his ground. Again, Afro and Bemus, all they can try and do is save their weapons. And it's just going to be a bit of a struggle for them.
I mean, hey, at least the AWP survives. Have I spoken too soon? Yes, I have. Peppo takes it out and even picks it up for himself. An expensive round for Sinners, but one that they are more than happy to bleed out. They hit double digits. Monte, their bank account gets broken. Peppo gets a free AWP. It looks like Ancient is our destiny.
Yeah, it does seem like we're heading that direction. That's almost a certainty at this point. We spoke about how the pistol round was one of the necessary objectives on the list, but that there were a few more objectives that had to be checked off for Monte if they were going to be able to fight their way back here on Dust, and they came up empty-handed in those instances. Shock now just shift walking out. It's only Gizmy with the USP around the corner. Nice and easy kill for him. And this has got 11-5 written all over it. Not the first time that Sinners have been up 11-5 though, need I remind anybody?
has been planted.
I mean, okay, 11-5 could be a bit of a curse.
Terrorists win.
The thing is, Sinners are just playing far too well for me to... I mean, that's what I thought about Monte when they started losing. Afro will have an AWP out. Afro will have the big green. But he's been trying his damnedest.
Yeah, he hasn't been the problem.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he has the
More from
AWP.
Azuu, need more from Gizmy.
I suppose the AWP coming out, though, it's not like he's not pulling his weight. It's more so the fact that that's a necessity because he is pulling his weight and he needs to continue. But it looks like Sinners, dude, are they just going to go straight up onto the B bomb site? Even though Peppo hasn't found an opening kill, yeah, they're going.
I like this option a lot, especially when you're ahead 11-5. Just go for the big gamble. Exec Rio able to drop a second frag found. That's the key kill that should actually solidify the round. As I said, that though he's lost Azuu. He's just got his USP to rely on at this point. He should go down. How is he not dead yet? Just buying a lot of time. And yeah, it was inevitable that he would eventually lose his life. Man advantage now for Monte on the retake. Courtesy of Ryu.
Retake hasn't happened just yet because Stresserin doesn't feel safe to get that bomb planted. A mollo from Peppo should allow it, but no, continuing with this tap, I'm not a fan of this. Bomb should have gone down a long time ago. Now, finally, it will, but the retake is already here now. Util's being dumped in, Stresserin blinded in the mollo. Peppo, get your AWP out, finally does. He does get one kill for it, so it makes it a little bit more costly. Monte, though, on to 6, and how did the T side comeback, or sorry, the CT side comeback start for Sinners on Mirage?
When Monte were just going super direct, I guess, on their T side. Not with
they
like
rushed-
uninspiring rounds. Yeah, it was a
they
B rush
rushed-
as well, right?
When they rushed the B bomb side.
They did it twice in a row, actually.
Yeah? And you said, right here, Sinners, when they've got the rounds to play with, they may as well try something gimmicky like this. That's maybe what Monte thought. And then it was overtime. Food
The thing
for
is,
thought,
like,
I wonder.
don't just continue to do it round and round out after that, right? Like, it's fine to attempt it once, but then notice now how Sinners immediately revert back to the more reliable kind of options because the gimmick didn't work. You don't try and run the gimmick back again and again. Let's see, though. Will we draw any further parallels between how Mirage fell apart and what might happen here in Dust? I mean, if Sinners do get the win here on Dust, they might be kicking themselves a little bit that they didn't finish Mirage off, right? That could have been the job done in 2. Who knows what Ancient has in store, but Sinners are going to have to find out.
I mean, entirely, right? Afro with the AWP. He wants this opening kill, and I think he's going to be given it. B-Stick crouching under his crosshair, but Afro, he inched his way forward just a little bit, and that was the reason why he saw the head. So it was supposed to be a triple swing maybe with Peppo as well on the AWP, but now Afro has been able to fall back, and because of that, another falls the wayside. He's still kicking and thriving, but his teammates have fallen down. Kisserect is literally on the other side of this wall. Afro's done so much work, but how is all his riflers dying? Peppo's got the bomb, and he just tucked tail and run towards the B bomb site because they've killed everyone over there. They know Bemis is the long player, and Kisserect also just holding down the fort and still rocking those heads. Afro doesn't realize the bomb's on B. It's been planted, so it's given the game away. But what more can you do? 2 kills with the AWP, saves a day, and then everyone around him dies. But Kisserect with 4 kills sits mighty on his throne.
That's like one of those hero movies, like those war movies where one person just has to, you know, they're all by themselves. They don't have any support. And they have this like impossible mission. Kisserect just finds ways not only to stay alive, but he continues to get kills. Huge quad kill coming through from him. Massive impact, fantastic value. Isolating the jewels, making some great decisions, slowing down his pace in the round, and also a great read, as you had suggested, that they knew Bemis was the long player, and they knew that Afro was on ramp, so just immediately recognizing that that B bomb site must have been vacant and taking full advantage. 6 chances now to finish off the job.
How? Oh, they get burnt by the mollo. Kisserect. Man, this guy is possessed. 6 kills in potentially the final 2 rounds of play here in Dust 2. And I think it is going to be that final round. Beastick eliminates Gizmy. They knew he was here as he got the kill on Kisserect. And also the third A defender. So it's completely wide and open for the taking. Ryu's still on the B bomb site. Afra's going long, but it's all in vain. And it looks like we're being sent to a third map. And I agree with you. You said it a few moments ago. Sinners probably kicking themselves. They haven't closed out this 2-0.
Yeah, they just got to rather focus on the fact that they've kept themselves alive and they've been able to force a third map in very impressive fashion. They looked really good for the most part on Mirage, just not when it mattered the most, and they've looked fantastic from start to finish here on Dust. So they'll take a lot of inspiration and motivation going into that third and final map. It's a couple moments time away. Ryu just patting the oh man, this makes me
you're
sick.
kidding
This
me.
honestly makes me sick that he's looking to try and protect his rating.
He doesn't even get into CT spawn.
You lost a fan in me today, Ryu. At least for the rest of this game. I mean, I won't hold it to you forever, but that's not great to see. What is great to see is that performance there from Sinners, though, man. What a dominant display on Dust 2, right?
A little part of me is thinking, yeah, great for Sinners. Why did Monte pick into this? I don't have Nuke in this veto, or, like, at all. That's just such a surprise. And I think the map, unfortunately, I don't know if it makes much of a difference, because for Monte, it's just those pesky T sides. Like, they've been so poor this series all in total, and we just don't want that to rear its head if you're a Monte fan. But for both teams, yeah, it's a weird middle ground. I don't think either team is too comfortable. The Sinners have got their most recent victory against Nime. That's a really legit victory to be getting. And this was not a map whatsoever that was used in Monte's journey in the Draculans finals. So it's not a map that they're happy to rely on in a veto. And this pistol round, it's all Sinners.
Yeah, great work from them, winning the skirmish in towards middle initially and then shifting the focus in towards the B bomb site. Stressor and will catch Ryu from behind. It's just Afro left, 1v4. Sinners looking to start off here on Ancient where they left off on Dust, and it's going to be an emphatic fashion. Afro is an absolute dead man, and eventually Pepper will be the one to get the job done. And I'm going to back Sinners to finish off the job from here. No, not just because they've won the pistol, guys, but for me, they've been the more impressive team over a longer period throughout the series compared to Monte. Monte just didn't pitch up on Dust, right? And Sinners, sure, they lost on Mirage, but it was a 13-11 loss, and there were a good couple moments on the map where it looked like they were in control. So for my money, they're looking like a better unit right now, and I think that they should get the win.
Agreed. I think a big difference maker, though, is going to be the likes of Azuu. We saw how he can maybe live by the sword, die by the sword at times on Mirage. Well, on Dust 2, he just died by it.
I was thinking the exact same thing, honestly. That's what I was going to say too.
It's actually crazy. I just kind of forgot he was. Same with Gizmy. Like, they both. It's actually crazy how badly they both played on Inferno after both playing so well on Mirage. Oh, sorry, Dust 2.
It's not like he didn't get his. Yeah, and it's not like he didn't get his chances on Dust, right? Like, you got to think about that pistol round where he misses all his shots and Ryu kind of saves it by finding a multi, and then the round straight afterwards where Zoo was just caught on ramp in the open going down there as well.
Yeah.
There were a number of moments. It's not like you can kind of chalk it up and say, yeah, but, you know, kind of just unfortunate. He had his chances, couldn't take advantage of them. Some chances here for Monte. I mean, a chance for damage and guns being saved as well. Not a bad return, considering that they did just full save.
I'm personally not again. Yeah, me likey. Where did that come from? Yeah, I'm not against it whatsoever. I think it's nice to see the 2 AKs being saved over. It gives me as well getting some value. I wonder if he can drop over an AWP now. Money's gonna be okay. Well, if he was an AWPer, he could buy it in glass cannon. But yeah, my master's really far off. He can't buy an AWP. Well, he can, but he just probably shouldn't. Monte, loose pistol. That conversion, it almost gives you a little bit of hope, right? Like, oh, 2 kills, nice Gizmy, 2 AK saved. Like, oh, this is a step in the right direction. But is that actually going to be meaningful as we go into the real gun round?
Well, that's what we're about to find out. Not going to have to wait much longer. Is there going to be a contest for mid here is the main question. It's the first question you ask on the CT side. Do we look to contest mid this round? No. Okay, then what are we looking to accomplish? And B-Stick will go down. Must have been the nade molly combo there.
Yeah. Also, all Azuwu. Maybe, like, yeah, he gets that.
Maybe even some wallbang damage as well?
That's what I'm thinking, right? I don't think a nade and mollo would do 100 damage, but...
No, it shouldn't.
Hey, that's a crazy opening kill to get. I was gonna say, they were ready in position. Afro was over towards Temple. Bemis was also over here. But Afro actually pushes back a little bit. Is playing retake. Now the confirmation that it is an A play. But never mind. Sorry. There's no retake about this. Afro, he is charging upwards. Peppo taps the bomb and just never anticipates Afro to be swinging behind default like that. Big nade from Stresserum is damage and it needs to be converted into actual kills. And unfortunately, that's not going to be possible as Monte. Now that is conviction.
Yeah, great round, super convincing from them, and Shock on a big flank going to be caught out. I mean, obviously they'll start to be aware of the potential of a flank. Shock needed his teammates to stay alive for a lot longer there to try and enable him to be able to activate from that position. Great work. I like the proactivity from Afro not to concede the bomb site, just kind of be a thorn in the side of Sinners, and then he buys time for the rotations to come through as well. Gizmy gets a good kill through the smoke, and everything goes according to plan. And now, Freddy, that damage in the eco round is realized. You're speculating whether or not they'll be able to take advantage, and it means there's a Glock here for Peppo, Desert Eagle. It's not convincing at all. So good chance here for Monte to level things up.
Ooh,
oh, hello.
Evening.
Oh,
sorry, Kisrick Dinks?
Yeah.
Okay, Azuwu. Yeah, he's
back.
He's back.
Welcome back.
But this is what I mean, like
player.
he just runs. He just goes, yeah, I'm not stopping. Peek, peek.
Yeah, he's the perfect player for the sort of position as well, because you want to be active in Cave and Jag, and Azuwu loves to be active. He loves to be in and amongst the thick of things every round. Could imagine a guy like him maybe getting a bit bored on the B-bomb side of Dust2. Yeah, on
Oh, can I push now?
Be a part of the action every round. Yeah, exactly. No Azuwu, you still can't.
You know how
made.
you know how when a city side retakes mid, they tend to leave like one player B and then kind of do like 3 or 4 players just like full retake mid, right? And that B player is like main goal, do not die on the bomb site. Zuru on the B bomb site anchor. How are you dying every round? You know, they're peeking me. Good util. Sorry, but why'd you die in T spawn? You know, it happens.
They really forced me out of the site there. Like I said, good util.
Wait, Bemis. No!
Wait.
4x3. Okay, see, Stresserin doesn't know about Shock. He doesn't know Shock has got past him. They'll know now because Gizmy's died. Oh my god, this is... Sorry, we were joking around. We were having a bit of banter. The bomb's been planted. I don't... Is this winnable? It comes down to just Shock. And unfortunately, he's been dropped to 11 HP, so I think no more is the opportunity.
Yeah, as soon as that damage is done, it should be enough to secure the round. Would require something remarkable, some sort of a miracle. I was going to say, Shock gets the jump on Azuwu, but he just turns and burns. A quad kill coming through from him. As Monte will level things up and should be able to extend themselves into the lead from here.
Okay, bomb planted, but despite that, no real money for Sinners. Zuwu's getting all excited, bit giddy now. He's 6-2. Same with Gizmy. It's quite funny how they've gone from top to bottom to now top again. It makes no sense. An eco just kind of rush onto the A-bomb site. Bomb plant is the goal. And they might not get the plant, but yeah, okay, they're getting a few kills. Bomb's actually over towards B. Sorry, it was all a fugazi. The ruse was so good, it even faked me out.
They've done the MM strat, man, and they're kind of wishing they hadn't, because 2 players, Stresserin and Pepper, were able to get in on the same bomb site. There might have been a world where they could have gotten the plant had they had the bomb with them, but not going to work out that way. Monte, who win 3 in a row here, get themselves a slight little lead. So much on the line here on the third map for both of these teams, right? Desperately fighting tooth and nail towards the end of the year here, Freddie. Not many opportunities to get some VRS points under your belt before the year concludes. This is the only competition that Sinners are currently involved in. Monte, they're part of CCT EU Series 9, so like I said, not a huge amount to play for. Makes this even more important. Sinners looking to try and put a stop to the momentum that Monte have built up here in the past couple of rounds. Been able to get themselves some decent control, but look at how much utility they've had to expend to get this control. They've got a single smoke grenade left, that's all.
So they're going to probably rely on someone like Kissarak to get openers, which he was doing on the T side of Dust2. He's waiting for someone to walk into his crosshair. And Azuwu might just do that, but Azuwu spots him out and he's just so hungry. He spots someone and he just attacks it. No regard to his HP. And now I really don't know what Sinners do. Like, they've kind of lost their opening maybe in Kissarak, so they're just going to try and have to do similar, brute force through cave, but Gizmy and Azuwu, they've got a nice little double setup here. Afro is able to transition over the AWP as well. And Azuwu, 20 HP, it really doesn't matter. The two Brits combined for 3 kills in total on this B bomb site, and they're just still alive. And that's when the support from Afro comes, but okay, maybe Afro could have connected the shot a little bit earlier. Lets his IGL die. He's like, ha, that's for all the bad calls on the T side. But, Shock, even though that was a nice shot, no time.
No, well, there would have been. There would have been if not for his pathing. Yeah.
If he had just instantly planted, there would have been time.
And I get that he's thinking, well, I mean, if I plant out in the open, I'm probably dead. The thing is, mate, is that you don't stand a chance of winning the round if you plant safely. So you just have to take the risk at that point. Well, that sucks. Good work there from Monte and Azuwu in particular, looking like a live wire in that round. Another multi-kill coming through from him in an important round. Like you say, Afro just with a nice reminder to Gizmy as to who's bossing the team. Says, yeah, Gizmy, you might be calling, but I'm the one who gets to control whether you live or not. Don't forget that. Azuwu, he's in that flow state, mate. He is fully in flow state right now.
I love it. Injected in my veins.
I think as far as skill ceiling goes, there could be a conversation to be had about Azuwu maybe being the player who's got the highest skill ceiling on the server. Maybe Ryu.
Stresserins is pretty high.
Yeah. Say, if you look at the Sinners boys, it would probably be either Stresserin or Kissarak even.
No Peppo
as well. Even Peppo as well, but I'd say I'd probably pick one of the 4 players before him that I mentioned.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I really rated Peppo when he's come up, and I haven't seen enough of him recently to make kind of like a view of what he's like now. But I was really hot on him when he got promoted. Okie dokie, Monte. Really kind of dropping the bag a little bit. Afro, don't know how he's alive. The ball's been dropped, but maybe being recollected, as this was ordinarily just an eco with a hero AK. Bemus, one and only one. Ryu, you talked about a skill ceiling. Well, he's going to have to show some of it right now. A 1 versus 2 to stem the bleeding, and he might get caught looking the wrong way. Doesn't even get the kill on Shock, and that hero AK, humongous value. 3 kills for the man on your screen.
And he was the one who was able to stay alive in the round they lost before that, and then by virtue of that kept the AK in play and then puts the AK to fantastic use. Great work there from Shock. I really like the way that Peppo even just gives up his life with the Glock to set Shock up in long. Nice little micro decision making there. Gets the better of Monte. A round that should have made it a 5-2 scoreline leads instead to Sinners drawing within 1. At least enough money for Monte to reinvest though. Turning out to be a hell of a game between these two teams, which is exactly what we expected coming into this one, I think.
It's those other rounds, though, that are going to be a real difference maker. Monte, this was them set up for 5-2, them set up for a pretty decent CT side. I was hoping to run some narrative about a Zulu, few memories back in the day. Not even allowed to, as the Hero AK round really caused a ruckus. Big nade damage, Kisserect getting the B-stick treatment. And again, Azuwu in cave. I wouldn't want to test him all too often, but really expect this boost. It looks like he's not even going to actually really contend.
Big moment here in the first half. Ryu is committed. Does B-Stick hard clear this position as he edges his way forward? Does his focus shift to Donut? That's part of the design of this position for Ryu, is as the T's come into this proximity, you expect him to be looking in towards Donut just like that. Problem is he can't get the kill quickly enough there to keep Afro alive, so at least B-Stick's able to find a frag before he goes down. Ryu smartly dropping the smoke there, giving himself some cover to get out of dodge.
Sinners putting all their eggs on this B bomb type basket. But with Ryu rotating over, there's 3 defenders here now, and these smokes, they're going to start fading soon. So they're going to get a move on. Gizmy, first line of defense, owned, knocked down a peg. Ryu here to save the day. Azuwu still standing in cave though, and he's going to try and fight forward. That kill could just be the difference maker. Oh my god!
What?
How? The final bullet in the magazine, Ryu had already started strafe away, but one lone bullet. Oh my god! What? Oh my god! Shock kills himself! That is insane!
Oh, he was trying to be so smooth. He was trying to be so clean with the movement, so suave. It's like one of those situations where you're a young lad and there's some good-looking lasses around you. Freddy, you try and do some sort of a cool jump or a cool move and you end up falling flat on your face. Ryu wasn't even trying to kill the bomb planter, by the way, just inadvertently gets that frag with the wall bang. And then Shock makes it the easiest 1v1 of Ryu's career.
Oh my god!
Sometimes trying to act cool can work out against you, man.
We're back into it. No rest for the wicked. And crazy rounds back to back. Afro's left his post. Oh no, it's a man advantage for Monte, but Afro's completely left the A bomb side. A second longer and Kisserect would be dead. Now Ryu doesn't realize it, but there's an enemy player, very advanced in donuts.
It seemed like Ryu actually may have had an idea of that. He was kind of like just checking it as he was walking backwards, and it's probably why he's pathing his way through Red Room and not Donut right now. But Sinners, despite the fact that they're down by a man, still have a very good chance of making something happen in the round. Reluctant to use their one smoke grenade to block off CT, they still want to try and see how much they can get from this position without Monte realizing what's going on. Of course, now the penny will drop and they're going to have to try and retake.
Afro's thinking, what the heck? I was holding that, man. Yeah, quite a while ago. Didn't stay. Kisserect, he's always been here, extremely advanced in Donut, and he's just surviving, being a nuisance. B-Stick, come here to help as well. Flashbang goes too deep, but Azuwu, it does not matter. This man is a bulldozer, but finally extinguished. Kisserect, he was the man who made all that space at the beginning of the round. With only one kill, it's Peppu. Wait, there's no time left. They just never got on the bomb. Afro's sticking it, but yeah, it's ticked too far. And he knows, he's shaking his head. Never mind, I stand corrected. These rounds are crazy. And with only milliseconds left on the clock, Monte double down.
It was actually really good awareness there because Bemus is the one who doesn't have a kit, so it has to be Afro to try and jump on that defuse as quickly as possible, and he does just in the nick of time. I was there with you, but I feel like the HUD's actually just kind of deceptive. It looks like there was barely any time left on the bomb.
It's got me a few times.
Yeah, got me as well. I think it was on Mirage where I got caught off a little bit from it, but Monte going to be breathing a massive sigh of relief as they're able to complete that defuse just in time to double up the scoreline on their opponents. Round loss bonus and bomb plant combining. I wonder if that's going to enable Sinners to go all in. I don't think that they should though, Freddy. I think a half buy probably the better of the two options right now for the T side.
Sorry, I'm still kind of getting over that like nade. That nade still still recoiling a little bit. That's like,
There's no need for him to try and get so suave with the movement either. It's the craziest part. It's not like there was a call that Ryu had been dinked or something and the nade was a really good option. It's just
I mean,
throwing it
Ryu
for the
was
sake
low
of
HP.
throwing it. No, he was full of health, I'm sure.
no, he wasn't.
full, bro.
He was really low. He was on like 20 HP, if that. I think he did get, because when he denied the bomb, there was that spray down, right? You got the 1v2
Okay, that
on the
prolonged
bomb
fight.
site. Yeah, so he gets put down really low. But like the reason why I'm kind of recoiling is just like, you know, I have like 7K hours, 8K hours playing the game. Almost maybe as much watching the game. And it's just, you come away and it's like, there's still things that's like, yeah, I've never seen that ever. I've never seen that in my life. Oh no, sorry, Ryu was 100 HP. You are completely correct. I've just seen it back on Twitch. Yeah, he's
Okay.
he's 100 HP.
I'm really glad you were able to check because I was trying to and I wasn't able to, so I'm glad that you caught it. But yeah, I did check that when I saw the nade being thrown. I was like, oh, is this nade going to get the kill? And then I saw his full on health. So nade actually just completely unnecessary. But I mean, Shock was also low, so probably unlikely he was going to win the round. But I guess we'll never know.
So I've just watched it back and that's so funny. That has to be like one of the... But what's crazy is that it's literally just like that happens 20 seconds later, boom, out mid. Like you got to reset. That's what Counter-Strike is. It's a cold mistress. You just got to go straight back into it. Shock, he goes from like straight up hero to zero. He goes from having a great couple rounds. He's had a pretty good series, actually pretty consistent, I'd say, even though maybe the scoreline doesn't really depict it. Like I'm thinking back to Dust2 when he was getting a huge impact on the CT side, and then boom, kills himself to a nade. Hanluku Maluku.
Yeah, it's one of those things that can be annoying, but you just got to put it behind you. Can't let it like bleed into the rounds afterwards. Sinners are going to invest here, and I guess that's down to the fact that they know Monte don't have much money either. So if they can win this round, they reset the CT side economy. But what it does mean is that they have to play with 4 Galils, and they don't have full belts across the board either. So it's a bit of a roll of the dice now for Sinners, and they're going to have to do it without Kisarek as well.
That ain't great. Long pause and it's already down a man. That's back-to-back rounds that Monte have been able to stifle this mid-aggression from Sinners. Ooh, Molo heard. Stress around, he's heard all of this. He's got the information and he hears them also maneuvering away. But it's a ruse. It's a fake. They're looking to re-execute back in towards middle and Shock from... hero to zero to now a hero again in towards middle. There's no nade in his back pocket to kill himself with this time. That is a phenomenal show of individualism and certainly makes up for killing himself in the 1v1.
Yeah, Stresserin has the box office seat for all of that as well. He's just watching all of it go down while he's waiting for his moment to pounce. I told you, man, Shock has some incredibly sharp mechanics. And we see it in that round. I mean, just really clean shooting from him there. Resetting after each of the neat little bursts. Makes light work of all 3 of those players. Doesn't even lose half his health in the process. Nothing Ryu can do here but try and save his gun. Big round back here from Sinners. That's after they lost the opening pick as well, by the way.
Terrorists win.
It's a little bit weird though that like that first kill for Shock, because if we watch this, like Afro just walks in completely oblivious of the fact someone could be in jungle. Like obviously Bemis and Azulu were starting to make their way through Red Room, but it's like someone could be in that corner. Afro gives away that opening kill very lackadaisically, and then the next 2 is just kind of like, yeah, that was pretty clean. Yeah, it probably should have been a trade, but that was pretty clean. Yeah, gotta give it a little bit to Shock there. But Monte, throughout all of this chaos and turmoil, no money to go around. They're taking a tactical pause, try and figure things out. They had a pretty meaty foothold in this first half. But after much pandemonium, after much drama, looks like they are just going to eco this round. So therefore, they'll be playing for a 7-5 half, and Sinners looking to make an even keel going into the second half of this decider match, an elimination game.
Feels like that was such a big swing round, right? Round number 10. Because if Monte win that 7-3, no money for Sinners. Could be 8-3 then. Who knows what happens in the last of the half. But Sinners winning that round means that Monte have their finances reset. That was the big reward that was up for grabs alongside, obviously, the points on the board. And that is a meaty grenade. My goodness, look at how much damage that's done, man. In excess of 200, I reckon. That won't disparage them from just pushing down ramp. Be careful, Mr. Shock. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And he gets...
Hey, don't pull out a nade.
Oh, the fact that he misses it again, though, man. At least this time he doesn't blow himself up with it.
It's almost comical. It's almost comical.
Terrorists win. Bomb has been planted.
Guess it just throws away the Galil as well. A pretty cleanly played eco, albeit B-Stick does get double dinked running. That's not even his fault, to be honest. He just gets driven by. Kisserect drops his Galil at the end to upgrade to an AK in this round. This is now what Monte were playing for. This is where the tactical pause and the eco round has led to.
Well, let's see if we're going to have a leveled up scoreline here between these two teams, or whether Monte are going to be able to get themselves a little bit of breathing room going to the T side. Might be the former, at least at the back of that opening duel. B-Stick able to get a trade out there as Shock goes down. Keep that man advantage in play. It's not going to stop Monte from committing. Look at this, Ryu catching them as they look to try and go in towards A main. Unfortunately, Stressroom wasn't able to relay that information through to his teammates quickly enough. So much going on here in this round right now.
On throw all of this though. Shitting in T-Sport. Stressrun's gonna link up with Peppo as Ryu and Bemis maybe start to clear out A and middle. Gizmy spotted B-Stick and can't get back to safety. No sanctuary for him, but that might not matter. Head to head in middle. Ryu needs to double down, but doesn't anticipate the AWPer to be there. Sinners 3 in a row at the end of this first half to even it up and give a bit of congestion in this decider map.
We are leveled up at 6 apiece here in the third and final map, lower bracket matchup. Everything on the line right now for both of these teams. Who will emerge victorious? Well, we should find out at the end of the half. Maybe not, though. Could require more time. Oh, Stresser, and he has got the entirety of Monte on the other side of A main. Sees some presence, falls back, and calls for rotations coming through quite rapidly.
Deep donut smoke. CT as well smoked off. Stresserand, he does try and retreat, but he's forced in front of that smoke. A flashbang on Afro. If this lands correctly, it could blind the whole CT side. But it doesn't look like that's actually going to be able to come out. Bemis, wonderful double. He's keeping this alive for Monte. The only reason this pistol round hasn't completely fallen over just yet. And even though there were numbers here for the CT side, the bomb's going to get planted. And Sinners have let this one slip massively. A lot of damage, bullets flying everywhere, but not many kills until Shock arrives on the scene. Remember, Hero, Zero, Hero. Is he going to stay to that standard as the Lithuanian finds a third in this round? Shocked, caught between a rock and a hard place. Fair enough, fights himself out of one. Won't ever expect a second towards A main, and it doesn't matter anyways because it's run out of time. 19-6. He's having one of the most exciting games ever for all the right and wrong reasons.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just the one moment that we'll hop on about is that nade. Even that, though, I wouldn't say it's super egregious. It's more just comical.
Well, that's the point. It is just really funny.
Yeah, Monte opened up with a pistol, really well worked around from them, just pushing Stresser and further back. And then Bemis, the man that activates, just blow the door wide open on that A-bomb side, get the advantage, and round just unattainable from there for Sinners. Now, got to get across the line against the Force Spy. If you do, 9-6 ripe for the taking. Not far from the finish line at that point if you're Monte.
Utility being thrown over towards B. Azuwu, poking and prodding, draws over Peppo. In the meantime, Kiss Direct and Stresser and also trying to figure out what's going on the map, trying to take some map control in towards mid, but they just walk to their grave. The rifle down, and so with the round with it, B-Stick's not going to get cleared, and, well, he doesn't. He doesn't get cleared. Azuwu just flicks reactionarily onto his head, and that's it. That's the round over. That's the Force Spy. Did you think this was a Force Spy? Did you realize it was?
I mean, I did because I saw all their money going down to 0, but I wouldn't have said so based off the way that the round went down, no. Monte making super light work of that Force Spy. Azuwu in particular had a big contribution in the first half, and he starts off splendidly here in the second half as well. Going to aid Monte in a big way, going up 8-6 here. Bemis will be the one to put the finishing touches on the round. Now like I said, they got that path to 9-6. Look at the kills here. I know we've been harping on about Shock and what a big contribution he's had, but he needs some support, man. Where are the other big guns? Your likes of Peppo, Stresserin, and Kissarik need a lot more out of those three in particular if Sinners are going to be able to fight back from here.
Full eco now coming out for the Sinner side.
It's all about the next gun round, right? That's the round that Sinners have to win, just non-negotiable. If they lose that first gun round, they're in a really difficult position at that point. They fought tooth and nail to get you. They don't want to just disappear off the face of the map here on their CT side and let the series slip through their fingers in that sort of fashion. Nice calm control coming through there from Afro. Shouldn't be any casualties in the round here. It's going to be 5 remaining alive as Monte are set up very nicely to finish off the job from here.
I don't want to speak too early, but the Monte T sides have struggled. They've kind of always got to this stage and then really struggled once the rifles have come out. So I'm keeping still a question mark on this. an asterisk over this scoreline. Azuru, though, he's playing out of his mind. To be honest, there's no player as of now that I look at on Monte that I feel like is lacking. Afro not had the same success with the AWP on the CT side, but it is Ancient. You do got to give maybe a little bit of leeway there. This default for Monte, not really contested. And a missed smoke from Bemis. That was supposed to go towards Donut, which would have smoked off Kiss, Rect, and Stresserin, and they would have only had to worry about Peppo in window. And it's all fallen apart this round. Why are they just peeking up middle?
Yeah, that feels lazy, just taking a completely unnecessary risk. Gizmy tries to get info, pays with his life to figure out that there is an AWP in the round. That's about all he's been able to get from that. And now they're going to try and group up and see if they can find a way in towards this B bomb side. Peppo got a pretty good idea as to what's going on right now as well. Gonna have a quick rotation in towards B from here. Shock now realizes that there is presence on the doorstep.
Three riflers here. Now, only two. Shock, maybe a little bit too ambitious. Very individually pushes down ramp there. B-Stick, now a stressor run, set to hold. They don't have any utility between them, so they are very isolated. There's no smoke towards long, though. Peppo is got free reign, but he might not even need support because B-Stick just does it all by himself. Sure, Peppo does come in for one, but it's those two riflers on the B bomb side who do the majority of the heavy lifting, and a very disappointing gun round for Monte.
I mean, it just falls apart way too easily. It's a great effort there from Beastick, it must be said. Just kind of in a position where he can't fall back. He just has to stand and bang. He gets 2 kills and then a dink on the third. Baits Stresser in perfectly because you're never trying to hard clear that corner when you got Beastick popping off from behind the pillar. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Sinners, as they're able to pick up the first gun round here to draw within 2. This time, the donut smoke will hit the mark, and it's going to be a couple players committing through the elbow smoke here from Monte as they look to try and get middle control.
They even have a window smoke. Would you look at that? I will say, maybe overcompensated a little bit. 4 smokes down, 1:25. They've got 1 smoke to work with. And B-Stick trades 1 for 1 in A main. B-Mass, though, cruising for a bruising in Red Room. Monte looking to wrap around A, and it is quite individual, but it individually works. They just throw caution to the wind. Bemis fights through Red Room, and Ryu just entries out towards A. The Lithuanian duo single-handedly winning this round out for Monte. So it's calming the storm momentarily and calming some of those fears we had about this team's T side.
Yeah, it's just going to be a good round for them to get under the belt nice and early on here, right? Just a good boost of confidence for Monte. That's not going to be a similar sort of thing happening here compared to the T sides of both Mirage and Dust. Immediately back to winning ways, going to give Sinners something to worry about, because what does this do to them financially? Shock can drop a gun, Kissrick can afford one, Peppo too, but that's the last buy in the bank. If they lose a round that follows, it's going to be tickets.
The poison chalice of the CT side economy. You're never safe, never comfortable. Oh, all things considered, pretty good purchase here in round 18. But maybe their last stand if they lose this round. Empino and B-Stick, but an AWP on Peppo and everyone else on primary rifles. A lot of mid utility being thrown in, but it goes both ways, and it actually comes out worse for wears for this CT side. Kisrick trades, and I'm actually not sure how. Pretty sure he was fully blind, so a little bit unlucky there for Bemis, as Azuu is just being a nuisance towards Cave.
I wonder if Monte are going to just look to try and commit off the back of that. I thought that they might try and barrel in towards the B bomb site, and they might still. That's a big chunky nade onto B-Stick. He's the sole defender of this B bomb site as things stand, and he's not even really on the bomb site either. Now I'm just going to be jump spotting from the safety of long. That gives a lot of space up to Monte. Sinner's starting to maybe figure out what's going on right now as they poke and prod back in towards middle, but They're going to get isolated out of the bomb site, and they're probably going to have to retake. Can they get any kills before they concede complete control?
Miss Mollo and Long. Right. Okie dokie. Peppo. I'm not sure if he actually pulled the trigger. I would love to see a replay of that, just to honestly see how many bullets did Azuru just shoot. I was sitting there thinking there's no util towards Long. The Mollo's missed. The second one's a little bit late. Azuru looks like he already wants to swing. Oh, the Orp's dead. This is literally what we were saying. Live by the sword, die by the sword. When it works, it's just like beautiful display of Counter-Strike. It's like the skill ceiling. Like if it just gets consistent, it's like, what could it be, right? Then sometimes you get maps like Dust2 where you're like, oh, that's what it could be. Because if Azuru misses that duel on Peppu, like that round all of a sudden becomes very scary.
Yeah, it does feel like that was a big moment, like where the round kind of rests on a knife's edge. But Azuru does as he has throughout the map so far, and that is be very reliable, a safe pair of hands. And 11-7, Monte now just 2 rounds away from sending Sinners packing here from Cup number 3 in ECL Season 50 EU. It's going to be the half investment now for Sinners, hoping that maybe they can get a bit of a reprieve winning with these somewhat upgraded weapons. Hoping now with the attention in towards ramp that they can try and come through from Jag, but it's not going to catch Monte off guard. They've covered all their bases here in this round. It's only Shock left remaining. It's going to be 7-12, which means 5 chances here for Monte.
32 teams invited to each of these ECL Cups. If you win one, you go through to the regional finals. If you win 2, you go straight through to the finals of the regional finals. And basically, the whole point is if you win that almost second close, this is like one close, this is a close qualifier, and then there's a second close qualifier, and then there's Pro League. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through.
Long road, right?
Yeah, and
super long road to make
especially for Sinners and Monte, they both came down into the lower bracket almost immediately into the second round of the lower bracket. They've already played 2 best of 3s. It looks like Sinners are unfortunately ending their journey here. If Monte theoretically do want to make it through to the regional final, it's another 5 best of 3s and then another best of 3 in that regional final and then a best of 5. If they win all that, they make Pro League. Simple as.
Simple as, apparently. Sounds a lot more complicated to me, but I'll take your word for it, man. Sinners looking to fight in towards the middle here. It's do or die for them in these next couple of rounds. Azuru actually realizes he's ended up on top of Beastic. He tries to go back through the smoke, though. It's going to cost him his life. Gizmy activates in middle. Don't need to overcommit, though. This is back into a 3v3, and in fact, Afro's gotten another. Tips the scales in Monte's favor. 2 more kills is all they require.
Oh, no.
Oh, Kissarik. He's going to go for the gamble play. Ryu waiting for him. He even took an extra second to get the kill for the BM. Did you notice that? Because he saw Kissarik had his knife out, so he knew there was nothing he could do about it. That's nasty, Ryu. Only Shock left. If there was anybody who would want in this position for Sinners, it would be Mr. Shock. And he's been able to kind of at least isolate the players, the bomb carrier and a teammate, towards double doors. Smoke actually not ideal. But in the meantime, Shock looks to reposition.
Sorry. It's just quite funny that they missed the smoke and Gizmy's like, I'm going anyways. Mr.
Worked out.
Yeah. Shock, this is pretty unwinnable. Afro looks like he's just going to peek him and end it right here, right now. Monte, 8 best of 3s, 1 in a row is needed for them to get through to the regional finals. They've so far won 3 of them, 5 more to go. And their toughest opponent to date has been now eliminated. Sinners, they've had a great run of form in the last couple days, winning LANs in their own region and also making other grand finals